And loading.
And
Loading.
the
And loading. And the live Oh man. All this stuff ready to roll. After 5 hours of streaming on Twitch, still going strong.
You guys ever have those involuntary shudders that just hit you out of nowhere?
Yes.
Yes.
They happen to me quite often, and I don't know why. And I just...
My grandmother used to say, "Somebody walking over your grave."
I don't have involuntary shudders, but I'm constantly getting sprayed in the face.
What?
Okay, so you know those little Airwick dispensers?
Yeah.
My mother is a small woman, so her putting things on the top shelf is literally face level for me.
That makes a lot of sense. I was really concerned if you're sitting trying to picture what could be possibly spraying you in the face constantly. I'm going.
Yeah, you thought I was going to be lewd, huh?
Well, I mean, come on, look at the group. Look what we share in our chat 99% of the time. Of course, I thought we were going to be lewd.
So here's some of the honorable mentions that I found that we're not going to be talking about tonight that I wish we could. Paramount Plus and Peacock's rumored streaming partnership on hold amid mounting regulatory scrutiny.
Of course.
Oh dear.
Interesting. J.K. Simmons set to return as Commissioner Gordon in Batgirl.
Yes.
Oh, really?
Oh God.
Here's the thing with the Paramount Plus and Peacock thing. That shouldn't be a concern at all, considering all of the shit Disney literally just bought.
Well, they're waiting on
different. We're in a different administration now.
They're also waiting to see how regulators feel about the Warner Discovery move. And if that's successful, they might mirror something with that. Divest the streaming service from their direct control and spin it off into its own entity. South Park creators are buying the landmark restaurant featured in the show Casa Bonita.
Oh my God!
Yes.
I loved that restaurant back in the day. It was the cheesiest thing ever, but as a kid, like it was a restaurant that had cliff divers in it. Like it was big enough for cliff divers. Yeah, it still does. But it closed for a while, didn't it?
I think it went bankrupt.
It went bankrupt, yeah.
They just announced Chapter 11, and now Matt Stone and Trey Parker are planning on buying it to revamp it. They say they're going to love that food. They're keeping the cliff divers.
Hopefully they get better food because
they said if it works, it's the crowning achievement of their lives.
The one place, one of the places.
That sounds like what Tarantino
do.
U.S. states ban certain Alienware PC sales because they use too much power.
What?
Which is a ridiculous statement because PCs are built specifically to have low power requirements.
That's just so stupid.
Specifically California, Colorado, Hawaii, Oregon, Vermont, and Washington.
All the crybaby states.
Okay, so let's puzzle this one out. California, literally the state of fucking Hollywood, wants PC gamers to not buy gaming PCs because it draws too much power. Hollywood!
Well, right now,
lights.
Well, Hollywood is not the government of California.
No, but what I'm saying is like the
all
power
the
power draw of Hollywood.
All of the editing studios that need editing.
I think you're forgetting that yes, Hollywood draws a lot of power, but it also creates a lot of revenue. Gamers, not as much.
Yeah, but we're talking about studios, filming studios.
You're still literally blaming the little guy for shit that's bigger scaled elsewhere.
He's right.
Well, I don't know what the extent is. Does it say in the article like what kind of an impact we're actually seeing there?
Right now, it's just that the Dell and their brand Alienware is no longer shipping to those states. There's nothing that's keeping people from buying it, having it shipped to a different state, and going to get it.
Travis, I'll put you next to Carlos so Wayne keep him company, okay?
Let's see. Someone has been faking a relaunch of original Fallout creator studio Interplay.
Oh,
Yeah, that's a lawsuit waiting to happen.
Yeah.
that's
I
a
don't know
kitty
who
law.
owns
Interplay
the
was like
brand right now.
Interplay was like
think
the
EA.
Fields back in the day.
You know what I've been playing on my laptop these last few days?
A game?
Well, yes, but what game?
Star Trek Starfleet Academy.
Star Trek Starfleet Command.
It's an RTS game.
Star Trek Online.
That's not RTS at all.
Command and Conquer?
No.
No. Warhammer, Dawn of War.
I'll be right back.
Dude.
Carlos to the buffet.
No, I'm not doing.
What are we asking? What would you ask?
What
I'm
game
sorry.
Travis is playing?
I've been playing a computer game on my laptop these last few days. It's an RTS.
Age of Empires.
You got it. I've been playing Age of Empires 2, the recent definitive edition. That is some really nice nostalgia, and it's actually really cool that they have been adding more to it over these last few years. It's very, very well done, and I am absolutely terrible at it, but I don't care.
I really wish that there was a company to continue the Perimeter series, because that lore seemed very interesting, and I've never been able to find a copy of 2 anywhere, but everyone says like 2 is just crap.
You know what game I wanted to see him complete? I wish Interplay would be coming back. The Secret of Vulcan Fury.
Interplay is still around.
I just want to complete.
Not as big a deal as it used to be, and it does not have the Star Trek license anymore.
Yeah, no, Interplay's still around. It's owned by another company. It was just they were literally selling off assets. That's what because Jesse Heineck still was getting emails while they were selling off assets about that. And he literally told nobody. And everybody was like, we're gamers. We literally have free fucking cash. We would have bought shit. Why didn't you tell anybody?
Probably because he's done.
Show on the road, everybody.
Let's see. Another one. Pokemon live action series in development at Netflix. Allegedly, it's a Detective Pikachu series.
Ooh.
No. Pikachu style.
Wait a minute, that is not Travis's interest.
Right, yeah, the animation they use in Detective Pikachu is what they're going to use for the series.
To catch them is my call.
Yawn.
That means more lane, Carlos. That means a lot. That means more lanes.
When I see Ryan Reynolds singing that song, I just want to play that too. Because
there's going to be a Bob's Burgers movie.
Seconds of that movie is pretty much my childhood in a nutshell. A lot of Pokemon and just a lot of crying.
It's going to be a musical comedy mystery adventure story.
Of course it is.
Bob's Burgers?
Bob's Burgers.
Oh, wasn't there that one Star Trek thing about Robert Downey pitching to Captain Proton series?
Captain Proton.
The Star Trek universe producer.
It was pitched. It wasn't accepted.
Yeah, that's old news.
So Ross,
it just came out last week.
It's literally going to be a Bob's Burgers rom-com.
Yep.
Oh my god.
Justin, he's been pitching Captain Proton since Voyager went off air as an animated series where him and Garrett Wong would voice. No one's picked it up.
Oh hey, son, you would have loved it last
wanting
night.
a Klingon series.
Son, Travis, you would have loved it in Star Citizen last night. One of the groups was in there having a furry con.
Okay.
They had a bunch of their group people together on one of the ships, and they were actually having a furry con.
Okay.
I was rolling.
M. Night Shyamalan's Old is doing really well at the box office.
I saw it.
Yes. What'd you think?
Is he bad?
Well, it didn't suck.
Okay, that's a good start, but
so yeah, I mean it's a good start. But it wasn't like when you find out what's going on behind the scenes of all of this, it's like, okay. It wasn't like this big twist. It wasn't like a huge surprise. It was like, yeah, this kind of makes sense. I don't know. It was an interesting psychological study of, you know, these people rapidly aging, and sometimes it was, you know, horrific, but it wasn't like that big a deal. It didn't feel like. I mean, it's better than his last few movies, but I'm not sure that's saying much.
Well, that's not saying. Yeah, no.
Yeah, I mean, are any of you planning on seeing it?
Not really, no.
No, it's not.
I'll wait till
He's got to really,
I haven't
get the
seen
wow
an M.
factor
Night
back.
Shyamalan movie since freaking Last Airbender.
uh,
That was probably the last one for me too, Travis.
I'm not ashamed to say Shyamalan is one of my favorite directors because I actually liked After Earth, Signs, Sixth Sense.
I like Signs.
The Village.
No, but he's good.
He's
great. I liked what was the one with Bruce Willis? Unbreakable.
Unbreakable. Yeah, that was good.
And I liked
Unbreakable. Split.
I loved Split.
Yeah.
And I liked the what was it called? Glass.
The
third one. Glass. Yeah.
Yeah. Glass.
I did like those. I thought Split was brilliant, actually.
I think Split, honestly, I put that up there as like his second best next to Sixth Sense. I would almost argue overall better just because Split was just, what helped Split was James McAvoy. I'm not saying
I was just going to say that.
Not that Osmond and Bruce Willis weren't amazing, but McAvoy doing what 20 personalities in that movie.
So Carlos, you said that movie with Bruce Willis, and I'm like, that was The Sixth Sense.
Oh no, the other one with Bruce Willis. Yes, you're right. I was thinking of Unbreakable, but yeah, you're right.
Netflix gives a first look at Samurai Rabbit, the Usagi Chronicles.
Oh God!
Well, furry samurai movie.
Oh,
someone got the carrots wet.
No.
Fall asleep on this stream.
That's okay. We'll let you.
Okay, so before you go though, Travis, we need some Lane Lovin'. Lane Lovin'.
This is a family show.
That's what I'm talking about.
Be right back.
Hi, Lane.
Hang on.
Like I said, I'm not going quite yet. I want to talk Bad Batch with everybody, and I want to tell you guys what I watched this week before I go.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm not going to stick around too long.
All right, about ready to roll?
Yep, about ready to roll. Let me take care of those two. And let's bring up Twitter.
Hey, y'all, prepare yourself for the rubber.
Okay.
Man. You've never heard a sound like the rubber band.
Wow,
Look, I have something
the Team YouTube algorithm or the Team YouTube bot is good. I didn't say YouTube. I just abbreviated YT in a complaint from earlier today, and the Team YouTube automated account responded.
Yeah, they're quick on the response unless you overdo it, and then they ignore you.
Well, I have a habit of marking a lot of videos as watched later, and I went to check my feed today, and half of my list was flagged as might be inappropriate. I couldn't see what the videos were without tapping on them. I couldn't like or make comments on the videos. I could still watch them, but nothing else. Yeah. And they were pretty innocuous. I loathe automated moderation.
Yeah, I have my own issues with YouTube because right now it's like it's something new every day. It's either down here knocking something around trying to get to it. Really? Anyhow, but yeah, like the other day, they started turning autoplay on again. I have it off. Oh my God, what are you doing to that poor?
He's just wearing his cap. That's all. That is Lane loving.
But he's blocking Lane's vision of you.
No, Lane and I, our eyes locked.
I have something better than a cat over here.
Kitty.
What is that?
My friend's dog.
Like some sort of furry creature. How long are you watching the house there,
He's
Greg?
squatting. He's actually really squatting.
I leave tomorrow afternoon.
Well, that was a long stay. Where's your friend?
Actually, also, what was supposed to happen, I was supposed to they went to Poland. I was supposed to go with them. But about 3 weeks before our flight, the airline just up and cancels my ticket. They're like, oh, you're not going. I'm like, what? And I called and followed with them for like 2 weeks. Like, yeah, we can't get you out there this time, this and that. I'm like, wow. So my friend's like, hey, would you want to watch the house to take care of our animals? I'm like, all right, sure, why not?
What a bunch of dicks.
Yeah. Well put.
Canceled.
They
didn't give me a reason why.
Do you have the thumbnail for the show tonight, Andy?
Yes, I do.
Could you share it in chat, please?
Yes, I can.
Oh, what is it? What is it we're sharing?
A thumbnail.
The thumbnail for tonight's episode.
Oh, righto.
Come on. I will share it in the chat. Matt. As soon as it decides to load.
Pat. Ready to meet Raina tomorrow?
What possessed you to start singing Rubber Band Man, Travis?
Well, it's one of my happy jams.
Huh.
And it came up on the...
That's like full-on 70s, man.
I love the 70s. I have an entire playlist dedicated to like the 60s/70s/early 80s. Because that's just one of my personal favorite eras of music.
That's basically my adolescence.
There you go.
Like you got the Grateful Dead in their prime. You've got the Who. You got fucking Pink Floyd in their prime. There
you're forgetting the most important band, the Bee Gees.
I mean, like
the Brothers Gibb.
Yes,
I do have a few, Bee Gees songs on this playlist. There's like There's like 70-something hours worth of music.
I think you need to share this playlist with like.
Yeah, you got Spotify, right?
It's actually the playlist that I made when I was. You remember the writing idea I was talking about in chat a few days ago?
Mm-hmm.
About the jukebox in the mess hall of the ship.
Yes.
It's actually a playlist I made based on that idea. I
have a funny anecdote to share. Ross saw it on my Facebook. So I was driving to go get food a couple days ago. And if you haven't seen my truck on my Facebook, it's decked out Jurassic Park style. So I'm here in Albuquerque driving to go get food, and a cop pulls me over. Now, granted, yes, I was speeding. But he pulls me over, and he walks up and goes, why are you speeding? I don't see a T-Rex anywhere. I'm like, yeah, you let her get away by pulling me over. He let me go.
Well, except that she wouldn't have been getting away if she was going after you.
I was chasing her. My truck
that didn't happen in Jurassic Park. In Jurassic Park, it was the T-Rex chasing you. You got it all turned around, man.
There you go.
Thank you, Dustin.
Right.
Playlist in the chat for you all for your listening pleasure of. Let's see how much. 78 hours and 4 minutes.
Holy crap!
Yes.
Oh, it's in Spotify, which I never listened to.
I don't think I listened to anything else.
1,150 songs. Good Lord.
I like my music.
Good Lord.
No, that's like what is it, like 2 weeks worth of music?
At least.
It's a great work playlist.
Like I like that my playlist, and I usually just sleep up.
I might actually put this on the road because it was good, like road trip music.
like
I went to
whenever I do
Yellowstone.
Star Trek stuff or do any type of editing with that like dwarfs my playlist of all the Star Trek stuff combined. I literally have everything.
That's 143 days of music. If you're listening to it 24/7, that's 143 days of music. I could be dead before I listen to this entire playlist.
How many hours was it, Travis?
78 hours.
Oh, that's like 3 days. That's
Well, it says 11. It says 1,149 songs at 3 minutes a song. That's
okay. Yeah.
Jesus.
Granted, this like the Rubber Band Man song's a full version. It's not the single version. It's like the 7-minute version.
Wow.
And
well, I'm assuming an average length.
All right, Ross is ready.
18 minutes.
All right, cool. Let me get this shared, and it takes me 20 minutes to share something apparently now, but okay. All right. I am not clicking that one by accident. No.
Blizzard is melting down. And yeah, that's it. All of this and more tonight on the Real Super Geeks.
You're killing me, man.
Welcome to
apparently I'm like
oh, that was great.
Oh man, this is just...
Thank God for the exciting music. Otherwise, we wouldn't know we're supposed to be excited.
It's a shitty end to a shitty week.
And here we go.
And my phone just randomly started playing Bad Batch for some reason.
Ew.
right then my computer.
Welcome to the Super Geeks, everybody.
Welcome to this episode of the Real Super Geeks on today, the 30th of July, 2021. And Justin, by God, you'd better edit the hell out of this episode so it doesn't look as bad.
I think it looks great so far.
Yeah. So far, so good.
All right. Joining me once again, our wonderful cast of hosts. First off, he's the man with his fingers on the buttons and fat finger in each and every one of them. It's Justin. How you doing?
Just shoot me now.
Yeah, Justin's ready for action.
Just shoot me now. Right then there, of course, right at the show start, my computer said, "Oh no, we're going to update this and we're going to make you lag." Yeah, great, thanks for waiting to the last possible second to update. Thanks.
He is the eldest and wisest among us, Carlos. How you doing?
I feel elderly and very wise this week.
Not elderly.
Well, you called me the eldest.
Yes, that doesn't mean elderly.
Well, I don't think you can walk this one back now, Ross. God damn it.
Stop it. Get some help.
Good to know. No, I'm good. Thank you. I'm looking forward to chatting with you all.
He's been squatting so long, he should be able to exercise squatters' rights. It's Greg. How you doing?
I'm doing good. It's my last night here. I get to go home and see my kid after 2 weeks. Jesus. But yeah, otherwise I'm good and ready to get the show on the road to discuss some cool stuff.
He is the most beloved member of this podcast. And he's got a nice human companion. Lane and Travis, how you guys doing today?
Been a week. It's been a week. I got a bit of a story to tell you because, so I suffered my very first work injury this week.
Are we going to see it? Is there blood, bruises?
It wasn't anything serious, but if you don't know, I do I drive parts around Denver / Colorado area, and we drive these pickup trucks. And because we're driving all these car parts around, which includes like bumpers and everything, which can potentially fly out of the bed of the pickup truck, we batch everything down with these things we call spider webs. So basically just nets that are like black strands with like rubber inside of them and everything like that. And well, this week I was unhooking one of them at one of my stops, and it was probably just a little too tight because I hadn't let go of it, and it rocketed out of my hand.
I think we've all been there.
Hook got me right in the forehead, and
there it is.
We've all been there. We've all been there.
Did it open up your third eye?
Right,
if anything, it gave him a black third eye.
I was definitely swearing like a sailor.
That would have been something.
My exact words were, "Fuck me in the ass right now."
Yeah, thank you. This is where you put up the, for complaints, send complaints to realsupergeeks.com.
Thank you for the offer, but I think someone else wants to do it more.
The funny part is, the funny part is, like, the guy I was delivering parts to heard it outside. Like, he just heard me screaming. And like he was like, what's going on out there? Like, so like, you all right? I'm like, just
You're lucky you didn't put an eye out.
I'm all right. There was.
I think we've all been there.
A little bit of
we have all been there.
Like,
it's July, not a Christmas story.
On a bit of a different note, Raina cannot be here tonight. She sends her love to everybody. She's had a bit of a rough end of the week, but I will be picking her up tomorrow from DIA. There was a slight change in plans in terms of our camping trip that we're going to be going on. So, yep, we'll be seeing her tomorrow, and she says she wishes you all a great show. I'll be here for, a little bit before I tag out myself to get some rest. So,
well, Travis,
all of our love to her as well, and all of the recent changes. And hope that it's all for the better.
Amen to that.
Yep.
And last but not least, she is our globe-trotting Sagi Mama, Sun Seol.
Not just globe-trotting, man. She traverses universes.
Wow.
I mean, I am quite the dimension hopper, apparently.
Yeah.
Where's she at?
So, I know you guys have seen like this place in like animated GIF form, but I thought I'd actually show video of it this time. I'm playing Raft.
Oh, I need to get.
So you get to see me. You get to see me get attacked by sharks and build a boat, and stuff on a boat.
Palm fronds.
I hate that shark.
Lots of palm fronds. So my week. So I spent most of this week thanking God I could eat food and not continuously running back and forth to the bathroom. So that's been nice.
You find out for the food poisoning?
Yeah, over the food poisoning and over the burping up my own stomach acid.
Oh, mercy!
Yeah, so that was the worst part of it. That's what drove me fucking insane, because I was almost making myself sick doing that. So yeah, I'm much better this week. I'm still having to. So I drink water literally like a fish. Like I drink like 64-ounce glasses, and I drink like 5 or 6 of them a day of water. Right? I'm still recovering getting all of my water back in the first place. I still don't have enough water in me. I stand up and get dizzy at this point still.
Wow.
I'm the same way. I gotta have water. Like if I don't have it, I'm gonna
Mm-hmm. I drink water like some people need coffee.
All right, thank you guys very much. As for me, well, not much to tell. Same old in work and life. 45-minute commutes, lots of long hours putting cables together. Did have to move office trailers today. We got it done pretty quick, so I'm pretty happy with that. And like you, son, since I'm working in a very hot environment, I'm drinking like a fish too, and having to run to the men's room just as often. So yeah, also some good quality time with the kid this week, so that was really nice.
Oh, good.
He's asking to play ball now. We're just rolling a big rubber ball to each other across the living room. It's real nice. All right, well, thank you guys so much for filling us in. Now, let's get to the show. We got a lot to talk about, but first, I want to start on something of an emotional note, at least for me. Last week, we talked about Games Workshop rolling out their own IP guidelines, what they will let the community do to pay tribute to their property, and most notably, it banned any and all fan animation projects in favor of their own. That's their own licensed product, their own licensed projects. They do offer a license to people, but that's a high barrier to entry. And as Sun speculated, this was going to cause a few problems within the community, and particularly among the lore community. And the first one of those was a show called The Emperor. What if the Emperor had a text-to-speech device, or just simply TTS? It was a really amazing show. It's been going on for about 8 years, but the team behind it decided to put it on indefinite hiatus in order to prevent it from being in violation of the new guidelines. And it's understandable, but I linked the video earlier. If you haven't, it's on our Trello. And the creator went to great detail about why he and the team came to this decision. And it really struck me because it reminds me very much of 2015, when the fan film guidelines came out in the wake of the Axnar lawsuit. I've talked about it a bit before, so I'll be brief. I was heavily invested in the fan film, or the fan community. I had 3 shows in active production: Gates of Stovacor, Star Trek Starfinder, and Blood of the Near. And I had just gotten out of the Navy. This is what I was pouring my time into. And then the guidelines dropped, and all support for it evaporated. So I doubt Albafuza watches our show, but if at some point you do drop by, I sympathize. Know exactly how you feel, and I hope that you find a way through to make your own things, to find a new path ahead, and to continue to make fun and amazing projects that you have. But also for anyone else out there who is a creator, a word of warning: playing in someone else's IP is quicksand. It's fun for a short time, but eventually you can't throw everything that you have into it. You have to diversify. You have to find your own voice, your own stories, and that is how you move forward. There is a ceiling. There is a dead end when it comes to fan projects. And as wonderful as they are to create, they are not sustainable for these exact reasons. The Star Trek community has felt it, the Star Wars community has felt it, and now the Warhammer community is feeling it. So, do you guys have any thoughts on these events?
I mean, it's really sad because I was, I watched the video that you shared in our chat, and I was reading through some of the comments, and they have a pretty amazing community because there's already people going up with, like, we're going to start archiving everything on, but when they start taking them down, we must save this work. And I mean, it seemed like a really good community, and it really sucked that they went this route because they could have let the content creators go and done something different.
He
very
voluntarily put the project on hiatus.
Right.
They haven't issued any cease and desists. Nothing is being taken down yet.
But
right now, there's no indication that it will.
Right, but I mean, he has no way of knowing that. So I mean, he made the right call by being proactive and just being on the safe side because they can do either or because it's really kind of balls in their court right now. They can be as nice as they want, or they can be like CBS has been lately, ignore everybody. And
it seems to be that he is like. There's a few things that he mentioned in terms of like why he's doing this, and one of the reasons he explicitly said was that he thought of the people who would probably approach him and be like, hey, why don't you go to the people over at Games Workshop and ask to be a part of the team. And the thing is, like, that is just very unlikely, and it would likely draw that negative attention from Games Workshop to his channel, and that would probably put that content
even worse
at risk. And so, like, I didn't finish watching the video. Hearing the emotion, like, you could tell that this was a passion project, and you can tell that he is absolutely heartbroken to put it on hiatus.
Well, yeah, because I mean,
let Travis finish.
And like, I really feel for the guy, and I really do hope that, like, maybe Games Workshop will maybe loosen up the fist a bit, because I mean, as much as people like to shit on the Star Trek fan film guidelines and everything, like, it's understandable why they are there, but I do believe that if they, like, how they have approached it is very, very, like, it's just way too extreme. And just seeing how it is affecting their community, the fans and everything, like, it's hard not to sympathize. And so I really do hope that, one day they can return to this project in the ways that they want to, rather than like the plan Bs that they have set aside.
Yeah, I mean, I know they're hurt because whenever we got the Phantom guidelines, they struck the community pretty hard because a lot of people, a lot of content creators just said, we're done. We want nothing to do with it because we don't know what, that's not the type of stories we want to tell. And I mean, I can see it from their point of view because, everybody was punished because of one or two bad actors. Everybody wants to blame actor, but no, it was more than one that was abusing the fundraising.
And everybody that kept funding it.
Right. And, eventually, they're going to have to step in and do something. And maybe they'll loosen up their guidelines. Hopefully, they'll let the content creators go back and, maybe make something under some, looser guidelines like Paramount has, like Lucasfilm has. But, it's really up in the air right now. It's just, I guess, it's got to see what works and see what's good.
Lucasfilm has never had loose guidelines for Star Wars shit. What are you talking about?
Well, I mean, in the sense that they don't necessarily prosecute everyone who's made an extended length Star Wars fan film.
Right.
Okay, I don't remember CS doing that either.
Well, and that's actually a really good point, son. And that's kind of where I fall on this. And I'm gonna, I think, be sort of a contrarian here. I don't think they should have stopped. I don't think these folks should have stopped for a few reasons. And one is that it's a dicey proposition. If you all ever want to read a good overview of these issues, the website Plagiarism Today is a really good website. They cover a lot of topics, including copyright and how they affect fan films. And one of the things that they do in laying out sort of what the issues are legally and morally around fan productions is that it's not a good look on companies to go after little people who are basically just expressing their love for an IP. And if that's what this kind of production is, and it sounds like it was, I don't think that they would go after them. And even if they did, what would it entail? It would entail a cease and desist, in which case they'd cease and desist. So why stop proactively? because the reality is that even if you really look at even CBS's current fan film guidelines, the way they play out in real life now that they've been around for 5 years is basically exactly what it was like before the guidelines. Where yes, there's definitely a big legal step that they've taken in terms of really delineating what is okay inside a box and what is not okay outside that box. But the reality in terms of how they enforce it or don't enforce it in the real world basically puts us back to where we were before, because they could have enforced it more vigorously back then and they didn't. And now even with the guidelines, are they enforcing it vigorously? They're not. So, I think, and again, I'm no lawyer, and so I'm not going to, offer this as legal advice to folks like the ones you're talking about, Ross. But the reality is that, it costs a lot of money for them to go after somebody. Now, a cease and desist doesn't cost a lot of money. It does cost a little money because, unless your legal counsel is all in house, it doesn't cost you, it won't cost you a lot of money. It costs the company a lot of money. But actually pursuing people like these folks who are making zero money out of it, what's it going to get them that a cease and desist wouldn't? They can't sue them for damages because they'd have to show there were damages. They aren't making any money or revenue off of it, so they can't claim that. At most, they get a moral victory in shutting down somebody, but the somebody they're shutting down is someone who clearly loves their product. So why would you do that? The downsides for them are much higher than the upsides for them. What they want to be doing, and the apparently what they're doing, is by kind of hiring the people who make the best of these sorts of products, and then giving them the resources to make them professionally even better or longer. That's great. And they don't want other people horning in on that action economically. But if these other people aren't making any money, arguably what they are doing is pointing to, what Games Workshop is underwriting professionally. That actually only grows the ecosystem. And I think that would be the smartest way to proceed with something like this.
Doesn't Games Workshop have a history of being somewhat litigious with stuff like this? Or not necessarily the fan stuff, like the fan YouTube stuff, but just like covering their shit in general.
They've gone after a lot of third party. What's the word for it? Not recasters, but parts makers. People who try and make proxy models or customized pieces that they don't include. Most of what they've gone after is materials that compete directly with their product. They haven't really gone after film and fan creations before. Mostly what applies to the tabletop itself. I believe. I'm not entirely sure.
That's fine.
We're also talking about a business who is known to be like extremely expensive in the industry, and them going after people who are offering basically variations for cheaper.
Right.
Yeah, and if that's what people are doing, then it would be smart for this company to go after them. But if all you're doing is producing stuff that's about the lore and that's about basically just saying how much you love what they're producing, there's just not an upside for a company to go after people like that. There is if people are making money through like model sales or other things that that you can legitimately say this is horning in on our revenue streams. But I think past that, if it's just people putting up stuff on the internet that says we love Games Workshop's games, why go after them?
Well, they want to come back to the show. They They're hoping that Games Workshop lightens up a little bit, but we won't know for sure for quite some time.
Yeah, that's a shame.
Yeah, I wanted to bring this up first because of how emotional both he was and how much it made me feel like I was back in 2015 with the Star Trek guidelines and how hurt I was about that. So, again, our sympathy to those who are affected. Let's move on
The big
to
thing
our
is
review.
the big thing is fear. Fear makes the blood run cold.
All right, Bad Batch episode 14.
Yes.
Travis, you are all about this now, so why don't you run us through the events of the episode?
Before we begin, there's a certain alert.
There's one thing we got to do. We always forget about it.
Let it rip, Justin.
Alrighty, ripping it up.
Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert.
Carlos, you don't need to dip out.
I will.
He caught up.
No, I did not catch up. This was a busy week that included multiple dental appointments. So
for shame.
Multiple dental appointments?
Yeah.
How many teeth did they have to remove, or did you get dentures?
Not dentures. No, they've got 2 wisdom teeth to take out, and then I had a cleaning, and then I've got a cavity to fill.
Oh no!
All right, Travis, take it away.
That was lame, by the way.
See how well I do on the recaps here. To start the episode off, we see ourselves chasing a clone running through the forest. He's being chased by some creatures and some other troopers, and he gets stunned. After the title sequence, we see our heroes flying through space, and they get hailed by none other than Rex. And he says, "Hey, go rescue my homie." And they're like,
Okay. Before you continue, I just need to interject and say, look, I don't know if you've been watching Ginger Billy on YouTube, but you're doing a really good job impersonating him.
I have no idea who that is.
He's a redneck, and you sound very redneck right now.
I'm definitely not a redneck. I'm not even from the South, so. But he's like, "Hey, go rescue my homie," and they're like, "Well, I don't know. It might be a kind of a bad idea. We're kind of on a job right now, and if we don't do this job, we won't be able to eat." And then Omega's like, "But he's our friend. I trust Rex. And you trust." I was like, "I trust Rex too." And they're like, "Okay, let's go rescue this guy's friend." And so they go and rescue the friend. But surprise, surprise, the base that they think they know oh so well is actually a base that they don't know so well. And the codes are all changing. And the clone troopers are all just like starting to get all like they're getting replaced by the recruits that the Empire's bringing in, and they're like, "Oh wow, we're being replaced! Surprise, surprise!" And while this is all happening, the people on Camino are getting shipped away, and they're trying to be all secretive, and it's not working out in their favor. In fact, they get caught, and I think it's heavily implied that one of the politicians is pretty much executed on the spot.
Prime Minister, yeah.
Prime Minister. I don't think he's coming back anymore because the doors closed and there were 2 troopers facing him and they had guns. And the guy was like, "I don't have any use for you anymore, but I have a use for your medical assistant over here. So let's go, honey." And yeah. And so back on the planet where our heroes are, they bust the guy out of the cell and they trigger an alarm and they try to make an escape, and it's really, really tense. And it's so tense to the point where one of them gets left behind. Poor Hunter gets left behind.
Oh
I mean, I'm just gonna say right now, this sounds like the plot of a Cowboy Bebop episode.
But yes, we end the episode with Hunter in a cell and Crosshair eyeing him down, thinking that he was hoping that he would have caught the entire squad. But it's a good start. Bam, bam, bam.
Travis, that was excellent. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Now, I believe you've been chomping at the bit to talk about the episode, your thoughts on it. So why don't you lead us in with that?
I absolutely love this episode, though I'm actually kind of surprised with how they resolved it, because when the tension was building, I actually thought that they were going to kill off Echo. I was wondering, like, are we about to lose a character here? Like, and the reason why I thought Echo might actually die was because he was the one who was saying, I trust Rex. He has a history with Rex. I want to do this because Rex came back for me and we should repay this debt that he repaid, like he paid to me. And like, I was actually kind of thinking like they might actually kill Rex off here. Like, and when they decide what, like that, they didn't kill anybody off, obviously, but like I was actually kind of surprised that Hunter was the one who was in the bit of peril by the end of the episode. And I thought it was really well done, because like the show is showing that it is not afraid to pull punches. This is not your typical Star Wars show where everything is well and good at the end of the day. Bad Batch has given us quite a few curveballs, and like it's really setting up for quite an end of the season. These like it's going to like I'm really hoping that I'll be able to watch next week's. I mean, I'm sure I will, because I'm not going to be at the lake on Friday, but it's just one of those like, wow, quite like they are throwing heaters right now, if we're going to go baseball terms, because it's just
Good stuff. Thank you, Travis. Any particular moment that stood out to you?
Let's see here. I kind of like how Wrecker was just like when Omega was like on the fritz, because basically Wrecker and Omega, this is one thing I didn't get to take in my recap, is that they are at the ship. They are on backup. And Omega is not happy about this. She is very like pacey. Like she's like, I really want to help out here. And Wrecker's like super chill and relaxed. She's like, how are you so relaxed? Like, I'm preparing. Just in his typical Wrecker way. Also, once again, I'm so happy that Omega and Wrecker are just together in this episode. Just, I love their big brother, little sister, Jade Chan Toru relationship. It's just one of the most precious things about this series, I swear to God. And the action of this episode was on par. Like, it was spot on this episode. This was some really good, tense action. I was actually kind of wondering why the Bad Batch were just, for the most part, just stunning everybody. I was kind of surprised with that. But in the same way, I was like, I know this is kind of a stealth mission, and if they were just going bow, 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 that probably would not end well for them. But I mean, after the alarm was triggered and everything, you'd think that they would set their blasters to kill, but whatever. It was.
I love how almost every episode we're getting to see the stun effect on these.
In terms of other standout of things, I'll have to think on that one, because yeah, someone else talk. I've been talking too much.
It just really proves the point that like even in like the post we're hiring people and not using clones anymore, stormtroopers, everybody's trained using the stun setting. That's the only time they ever seem to hit anybody.
Well, it's because it's such a wide shot.
Oh, I actually really liked how like the stun hit the leg and it just like affected that part of the body rather than the entire body. That was actually a really nice little detail. I thought was just kind of like, it's the little things sometimes you just gotta like appreciate.
All right, cool. Justin, you look like you are ready to say something.
Well, I'm going to start off with a theory. I think the reason why they kidnapped the cloning scientist that kept her alive is, and they got Rex in the holding cell. They're going to clone Rex.
Rex isn't in the holding cell.
Hunter.
They're going to clone Hunter, and they're going to use Hunter to capture the rest of the team, or and get Omega to take them out.
Before you continue, let me counter that. There's something else, and it ties in with the Mandalorian. The Dark
cloning the Force.
No. The Dark Trooper project.
Yeah, yes. No shit. That's what they needed the baby Grogu DNA for.
I wonder.
The original Dark Troopers were clones that were cybernetically grafted. They became cyborg soldiers. It wasn't until the last iteration that Moff Gideon had where they were fully robotic.
What if we see Baby Yoda in that batch?
You're not.
That is family, and it would not make any sense.
Well, he's 50 years old. It would totally make sense if he was a youngling whenever the Order 66 was given.
Why would it make sense to the story, Justin? Like, what does the story
They're using his chlorophene to make the Super Troopers?
The Jedi are all in hiding. You're not going to see any in the Bad Batch.
What Jedi exist are in hiding, and what Jedi that aren't in hiding are being hunted down by Vader.
Or they've turned to the Sith.
Or they're becoming Inquisitors, yeah. Any Justin?
Yeah, I mean, we pretty much thought that we were going to see one of them get captured up at this point. I was surprised it was Rex and just Rex.
You mean Hunter?
Why do I keep saying Rex when it's Hunter? Jesus
because
Christ.
They're clones. They all look the same. That's not racist, right?
They sound the same.
They all sound the same.
That's not racist, right?
Only if you don't.
No.
I mean, they're clones. That's literally what they are.
Yeah, I know.
I'm trying
I think it's okay.
Trying to make a bad joke, okay?
Bad yoke.
Bad joke, bad batch.
Bad intro.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Okay, let's just rename ourselves the Bad Cast.
Ooh.
Oh God,
it's probably taken.
Probably is.
How about you, Greg?
I like the episode. It is. I mean, I love Crosshair's theme. Right at the end, he goes, "I was hoping for the whole squad, but you'll do." And then his theme picks, and I'm like, "See, that is up there with like just almost like up there with like Vader's." It's like when the villain has their own theme in Star Wars, usually the composers, namely it's been John Williams for 9 movies, but it's that they nail the villain theme really well. So, I'm looking forward to seeing what Crosshair's going to do. Honestly, something bad is going to happen. Obviously, something bad is going to happen to Hunter. My guess is somewhere along the lines of Hunter's probably going to be the one that dies. We'll see what Crosshair does. Overall, I like the fact that, they were like, screw it, let's go help Rex and get his buddy out of there, which they did. Honestly, though, there was a lot of tension. And back to the point about the whole stun gun, Bad Batch were using the stun guns. The other troopers were aiming to kill because when the Red got shot, he had 3 or 4 bullet holes right there. Obviously, they were the only ones using the stun guns. But it's going to be really interesting because I told Justin earlier after I finished watching, this is going to be a really good last 2 episodes. And I don't know. I'm glad if they need to sit. They cannot let Crosshair redeem. Like, they need to keep Crosshair a really good villain. I think Ross might be right. They might be leading into because Crosshair specifically mentioned he wanted the whole team, but since he looked at Hunter and said, "You'll do," could be Dark Troopers. It could be some sort of experiment. We know the Kaminoans, the Empire took the basically head biologist, wherever she is, but they took her. Because I have a need for a scientist. I don't have a need for a politician. And like Travis said, we're pretty sure he's dead. It's like you don't leave two troopers in there, one with a rifle and one with another gun. And like you're not walking out of there. I was fully expecting to hear a blaster go off. I'm like, okay, they're not going to go that dark, but we'll see.
Pew, pew.
That's what I was expecting.
All right. There was a lot to like about this episode. There was a lot of really fun moments. Correct me if I'm wrong, but have we seen clone commando armor before?
Oh yeah, that was a first.
That's from the video game.
Yeah. I mean, I never played that.
To my knowledge, we didn't see that in the Clone Wars.
Wasn't it in the book universe too at one point?
I remember.
I don't care about the books.
The only I remember it like being like the only other recent thing I remember it being in was it was added in Battlefront 2 if I remember correctly. But yeah, in terms of the shows, this is
the DLC.
So we're seeing the introduction of using clones as instructors, as commanders, as trainers for the stormtroopers, the TA troops. That got in my head immediately. TK421, why aren't you at your post?
Yeah, that was
TK. It's the nation for the stormtroopers. The nudie right there.
the like seeing them further flesh out like how they're phasing the clone troopers out is like I feel like it's starting to actually get a bit dark. Like there was a moment at the beginning of the episode where like the medical Kaminoan is like leading like this group of clone children and they're like super confused as to what's going on and they're just like this is kind of like out of the ordinary. What's going on? And she almost came across like maybe like a teacher who's just like, it's okay, children.
Right.
Like it was very off-putting in some ways because you just don't know what the Empire's going to do with these people. You don't know what the Kaminoans might have planned for them. Like, because the contingency plan that they are talking about is still kind of up in the air. Like, we don't know exactly what it entails. We don't know if it's going to be that big clone revolution that they're going to try and attempt. And we don't know if it's something completely different. For all we know,
you know the clone revolution fails, right?
What?
I don't think we're going to get a clone revolt.
Not with 2 episodes left this season, but maybe something next season, perhaps.
All we know
not with as many clones that are still obedient.
Like the Kaminoans have they have high suspicion that the Empire is going to do away with them in the way of like they're gonna kill us all.
Yeah,
and it's very like just seeing. It's I'm actually surprised at the amount of tension that they have introduced just to this B story of phasing the clone troops out, seeing these troopers who they say are loyal to a republic that no longer exists. And I mean, we were talking last week about how like we were all kind of confused in some ways about why these clone troopers were, you know, turning against the Empire and like just like we had a whole big shebang there and just seeing it better like fleshed out here, it's really getting like very gripping and I'm very surprised it's getting as like I'm invested in it as it was because like at the start of the season it's one of those like they're touching base with this. That's kind of cool. But now it's like, oh God, I gotta know more.
And there's only 2 episodes left. It's not fair. It's not fair.
Maybe you should have enjoyed the filler episodes a little bit more.
Shut up, Ross.
I'm looking forward. I'm pretty certain we're going
Stop
to
it.
have another season.
Get some help.
Of course, we're getting another season.
It's going to be great. I'm looking forward to it.
I'm okay if it's a one-off, but we'll see if we get another season. I'm pretty sure they'll greenlight it like after the last episode.
Oh yeah.
It's Disney, of course.
Any final thoughts on the episode?
Son?
Chef's kiss.
Bad Batch Mandalorian crossover?
At this point, I don't know. Like, it looks like we're seeing the systematic purge of the Kaminoans. Like we're witnessing a genocide at this point, and I guarantee that's basically to make sure that the Kaminoans can never do anything like that again, to start a rebellion in the first place against this new empire.
Yeah.
I mean, we knew it had to be coming. It had to be at some point. It's really impressive that it's taken this long for the Empire to do it. Considering we've watched like the Empire storm 2 planets now? Like, just is it the same planet twice, just mass murdering people?
There haven't been any mass murders yet. They've done some pretty heavy-handed intimidation, but the Empire hasn't mowed down civilians yet.
Wasn't that what y'all were talking about the Twi'lek homeworld? Not a couple episodes ago?
No, there was
they were beginning mass arrests of suspected insurgents. They were asserting their authority over the region in the name of protection.
Right. That's how it always starts. I keep forgetting it always starts with the mass arrest of suspected terrorists.
Right, and on the separatist homeworld or capital world, it was a display of force meant to disperse a angry mob.
Well, that's this. Yeah, no, okay. Well,
we're here in peace. Send in the troops.
I'm still surprised it's taken this long for us to see that going on, though. But
we're getting
those. The Empire had to kind of ease into it. They couldn't be evil right out of the gate, and then they wouldn't have any support at all.
They had to be the heroes, the ones that are here to stop the big bad Republic. And guess what, assholes? The Republic was a better one.
Well, yes and no. I mean, I'm like, Greg goes on this thing about filler episodes. It's like the filler episodes are pretty much all at the end of this season, where you could have started this episodes ago. It's kind of been this really slow thing of what's going on Kamino, because it's been like this really slow story about what the hell is. We still don't really know the full story of what the hell is up with Omega. Like, we understand that she was built to be like the DNA, but we still don't know why it's a woman, or at least nobody said here why it's a woman, why she has like all of these powers that none of the other clones seem to have. Like, she's just this amazeballs tactician, like, just purely. Like, we don't. These are
like powers so much. Like, I think what the idea is that again, she is the sister to Boba Fett. She was cloned from the DNA of Jango Fett. And my guess is like a lot of the skills that Jango Fett has, it's potentially that these were genetically given to her, if that makes any sense. And yeah, I'm sure, like, I know that that's not exactly how genetics works, but this is Star Wars, so whatever.
Yeah, no, I understand. I mean, there's like the one scene that we can all agree was really cool. that Obi-Wan chasing down Jango Fett in the asteroid scene. That was a really cool scene. And yeah, that takes some piloting skills to pull off. But that's not like masterclass tactician like what Omega is doing here.
Well, what
also
if?
keep in mind that the Kaminoans. Go ahead, Greg.
I was going to say, she is being trained.
Also...
All right, Greg, go.
She is being trained by 5 highly professional troopers, basically. I mean, her strategy is coming from what she's learning from them.
Ross, go.
The Kaminoans train soldiers. That is their entire business. They grow and train soldiers and armies to win. It makes sense that they would have specific training and specific clones meant to command.
But what if she had, now hear me out, what if she has a little bit of Jedi DNA in her?
Stop it.
Stop.
So,
Did Travis speak?
Maybe.
Sorry, I'm trying to sneeze.
So, I didn't think it was that they built armies. I thought it was that they just made clones, and that it was that whole, I want you to build an army. Well, we need the facilities. Here's a bunch of fucking money. Okay, we'll make your clones. I thought that's how that went down in the original, the prequel trilogy.
In Attack of the Clones, I believe the Prime Minister said, when Obi-Wan, you're building a clone army? Yes, one of the finest we've ever built.
Okay, well, there you go.
Magnificent.
All right, well, that will wrap up our discussion on the Clone Wars.
Can someone drag Carlos in?
mean,
He's
Bad
over
Batch.
Jesus.
So yeah,
All right.
Someone tell Carlos to stop eyeing Lane.
All right, Travis. I understand you're taking off.
I will be taking off, but not before I tell you all what we watched for Disney Roulette last
Let's
week.
hear it.
It was a bad one.
Uh-oh.
Really
Oh,
bad.
God.
Did you make Lane watch it too?
It was Lion
He
King.
was asleep.
It was
No,
the
it
new
wasn't
Lion
Lion
King. Aladdin.
It was the 4th Aladdin movie.
No. We already watched the live action Aladdin. We watched Planes.
Oh,
the Dane Cook attempt.
I'm so sorry.
The Dane Cook attempt.
Poor thing.
They should have been straight to DVD film that they decided to put in a theater.
Poor thing.
No.
Oh, you can't get the movie out of
It
your
was
head.
so boring. Like, if you guys have never seen this, how many of you have seen the first Cars movie?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That people give Cars a lot of dirt, but the first Cars movie I thought was kind
I
of
love the first Cars movie.
No, it's a Cars 2
Right.
everything gives crap for.
like, it's not a bad movie. It's not Pixar's like A material, but it's a fun movie. Planes literally takes that plot, takes out any of the charm in that plot, and just makes it that, because it's about a plane race. You got your big shot green car who is also a green plane. You got the old mentor who has a secret, and you have this the only thing that is different here is that there's not a small town that needs to be saved, and the main character is not this hot rod who is up and coming rookie. In fact, he's kind of very much an underdog. But there's absolutely no fucking charm in this plot, because it's just a race with planes to the similar beats of Cars, and nothing about it stood out. And oh my god, it just went on. And I'm sure now and then there was a chuckle here and there, but in terms of Pixar, this one was It was bad.
The only way that this movie could have been interesting is if they'd actually used the anthroplanes. You know the ones I'm talking about, Ross. Those anthroplanes.
Oh, why? There's
Let's
one.
not go there.
The comment on YouTube.
The anthropomorphic fighter jets.
I would agree with that, Leah. Planes is the Wish movie of Cars, and that's probably still giving it way too much credit. This one was a bad one. I don't know if it was as bad as the reboot Pete's Dragon that we watched, but this one was still pretty damn bad. Like, oh god, like,
son, you got Dia to do stop it.
What's that?
Diablo in Twitch chat.
In Twitch chat, yeah.
Some comments about the anthroplanes.
No.
Look, I keep telling you guys, I'm a professional pervert.
Oh, I mean, so pay you for that? And that's why it's so funny.
There's a reason I call myself a provert. It's because I'm a professional at what I
do. Yes, that's what I watched, and I will say, and with that, I will bid you all.
Okay, now
be safe, Travis.
Have fun on your
Travis, have a great trip. You Travis, too, Lane.
Have fun, be safe, and Urena, have a good time. And remember, party hard. Dance Lane, come on, dance
Lane. All right. Now, let's roll on into our other topics for this week. First off, Jodie Whittaker and Chris Chibnall are hanging up the scarf. They're saying goodbye to Doctor Who, which means we're getting a new showrunner and a new doctor. Will they finally be Ginger?
After this final season. So they have one more season to air, and then they'll be gone.
Technically, Carlos, it's a series.
Jodie would have been so much better with a better writer.
That's true. I think it's really a shame.
I've seen her other work, and she's great.
Yeah, I think most people like her as the Doctor. They just don't like the stories they gave her.
It's the format they've been doing this Doctor Who series. I mean, I just don't like it.
So somebody posted on Super Geeks and made this thing about all the man-childs got their way, and then I'm like, okay, I didn't realize I was a man-child, and literally wrote an entire fucking wall of text about what was wrong with Chibnall writing the fucking story.
I mean, I basically just said, I was like, well, look, he's basically been at for the equivalent of two seasons of the old Doctor Who run. So, her wanting to say no more about this time, it's about right.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's not even that. Like, that was the tenure of just about every, like, even the past, like, even Capaldi was like that way.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Tennant was the only one who went longer.
Yeah, he went long. Yeah, well, and what's his name? 12. He went pretty long
Matt
too.
Smith.
Smith. He went pretty long too. Not as long as Tennant, but pretty
longer than that's because Tennant couldn't stop running.
Damn it, son.
What? It's not like I'm wrong. Why are you booing me? I'm right.
I read an interesting article this week about Tennant that basically said people tend to think of him as the funnest Doctor recently, but he actually was pretty dark and like really arrogant and mistreated his companions and on and on and on. I was like,
the one scene that stuck out when he cloned and he left the clone in the other dimensions. Like, there's a reason why I'm leaving you here, because I know what I am capable of.
Well, there's also a reason why they chose Tennant's Doctor for the Time Lord Victorious event.
Yeah,
because he certainly was the darkest Doctor, especially when he was cruising out alone. The Doctor needs a companion to center himself.
Yeah. He's too powerful.
That's how the Water of Mars happened.
Yeah.
Although I like Waters of Mars. But yeah. I mean, I think Chris, I hate to bag on anyone like this, but Chris Chibnall really was not the best choice as the showrunner for this Doctor. There was too much. He wanted, I think, to make his own mark, and I think that got ahead of the storytelling, and it just made it subpar, which is too bad because they had all the right ingredients, I think, for the first female Doctor to really, really make an impact.
Well, it was just like the show format itself. It just felt different, and it just didn't feel the same as we were accustomed to, with all the different Doctors that have come before Jodie. And I think that's what alienated that the writing. I mean, that was the first time in a while with Doctor Who that I just didn't enjoy any of it. And I think we've talked about that a few times where we were reviewing the episodes where we were like, this kind of okay.
But is that really a format issue? I'm not sure it's really. I think it's just a really basic storytelling problem.
So here's the thing I said on that wall of text. I said, okay, so you had the Rosa Parks episode, that whole racism is bad episode, right? Then you get the other episode of the first season that everybody thinks is like the greatest episode, Demons of Punjab. And that literally is an episode of the Doctor just flat out being fucking racist against an entire race of people, or an entire race of aliens. Because her history is they're all assassins, right? Well, go and ask. Nope, it's not until she's ready to kill them first that she's like, oh, they're honoring the dead, not just murdering people. Oops. That's bad writing, Chibnall. You literally just said a couple episodes ago racism is bad, and now you have the Doctor be racist.
Well, who's ready for the speculation about who's going to be the next Doctor? And
it's been happening.
Yeah,
I rage at whatever changes they're going to make. They're going to take away the round things, and everyone's going to freak out.
I don't give a shit. I really don't.
It's going to be Grace. Anymore. Grace is going to be the next Doctor.
I really want the black Doctor.
I do too.
I
do too.
Like she was just so much.
Awesome.
She only had one episode, and she was so much a better written character than anyone else. And that's sad to say, but Jesus Christ, Chibnall.
He was fun.
Yeah.
He was the Doctor that we knew.
She was literally like, I'm gonna use this gun. She's like, yeah, no, I don't kill people. I just made it look like I was going to kill, and they were going to use it on me. And well, I just changed the wiring.
All right. Any final thoughts on this topic?
I'm sad that it had to happen, but glad that it happened. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Because I really would just like to see the franchise move forward. I think it just wasn't going anywhere. So yeah, I don't know what I want to see in the next Doctor. It really depends on who they pick to run that show moving forward. And I hope there's someone who finds a better balance between the storytelling potential of the Doctor and finding their own stamp, of creativity.
So there's this kind of Southern saying that kind of goes with this, and this is going to sound weird until you realize what it means. Sometimes you have to blow your nose to realize you've stepped in shit.
She's right. Look at Ross. He broke Ross.
No, he gets it. He is just like, yeah, no,
I'm from the South. I get it.
He gets it.
All right. Well, son, I believe you've been taking some intensive notes on the next topic. So why don't you take the lead in telling us the recent developments over the ongoing drama at Activision Blizzard?
Okay, well, yeah, I've been taking some notes this week about some things, and it's actually spilled over out from Blizzard to include Riot Games, which, for those of you who don't know or have forgotten, Riot Games was spun off by Blizzard devs. So all of that lawsuit that's literally still going on over at Riot Games, yeah, no, that's the culture of Blizzard filtering out from Blizzard. So there's that bit of information that I learned this week. So some of the people who've been covering this reminded us this week that Bobby Kotick was in Epstein's Little Black Book.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah. You know, and here's the thing. We assumed that it was a misspelling because it was Boby Kotick, but we kind of figure it is the Bobby Kotick because it's an Activision email address in the book. So there was that bit of information that we were reminded of this week. There were 6 different PR statements from various Blizzard people, some associated with the company, some formerly of the company. There was a statement from J. Allen Brack, a former lead, Mike Morheim, but his statement was still attributed to Blizzard. A statement from Chris Metzen, a statement from Fran Townsend, who, for those of you who don't know, Fran Townsend is the chief compliance officer for basically their PR and all that kind of stuff. She was also one of the, I can't remember if it was DOD specifically, but she was part of all of that Bush torture scandal shit. And she's their chief compliance officer. There was a statement from Bobby Kotick himself over this whole thing. And then one of the teams internally at Blizzard, Team 2, went rogue and published a statement saying they would be purging all assets from the accused from their games. So that's just statements that came out this week, and all of them said different things at different points and were all contradictory in some way, which is really confusing when you're trying to create a unified front as a company on an issue.
Well, only 2 of those were actually from the company itself.
True.
Kotick and then their PR statement. The rest were all former devs. Metzen and Morheim, they've retired.
Right. But then Team 2 is an active development team at Blizzard.
Right.
Yeah. So like even
they're the ones who are producing World of Warcraft.
Yeah. So then we got the news, I want to say it was just yesterday, maybe the day before, that at BlizzCon 2013, they had this get together room, and I say get together because that's the nice way of saying sexual howdy doody favor room that they called the Cosby Suite. And this
they released a photo.
This is 2013.
Yeah.
This is when Cosby is accused, not even convicted, accused, and they call this the Cosby Suite. So, yeah. And it actually gets so bad that it talks about one of the devs, like other guys having to pry this one dev off of women in this shit. And it's really bad, y'all. That's really bad. That's a really bad look.
Yeah. Well, and apparently, for the big walkout that they had this week
on Wednesday.
Yeah, devs from other gaming companies contributed to, food for them, drink.
Mm-hmm.
Porta potties showed up. Area businesses provided food as well. There's a lot of.
They were also still paid during the walkout. I forgot who said if it was Activision or Blizzard.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah,
it was Activision Blizzard. Yeah.
Well, not paying them would have been even worse. I mean,
it would have been like okay, you walk out, you don't get paid, but they said specifically if you walk out, you're still getting your pay. So
that was smart. I mean, to not have done that would have been a real PR mistake. But the point of all this is that it's not just this company. It's not. This is
right.
What people are saying is that this is endemic to the industry, not just one or two countries.
So a point that was brought up by several of the people in games journalism who have been blackballed by Blizzard for, basically defending moral principles, have said straight up, like, there are people who walked out who they know are part of that culture, but they're so blind to it, they don't realize that they're literally part of those crawls and shit. And they're participating in the walkout, basically, And so it's like that's just pervasive. And yeah, it's not just US companies or anything like that. This is like industry wide. This is basically the same behavior that all the tech startups in Silicon Valley, when that shit first started, was that it was that kind of culture. Like, and I don't know, like this is it's sad to say this, but like Atari's culture, like all the documentaries on Atari, same culture. It's just like a bunch of repressed nerds get like all of this massive power, and guess what? They start using it, and it's really sad.
You just actually answered the question I was about to ask, which is, what is it that is inherent in this industry that makes this behavior a natural outgrowth of a work in their work environment?
Yeah. It's basically a whole bunch of people who've been repressed and harassed, all that, basically a minority, even among a majority of people who are introverted, who are very self-contained, and they don't go out of their way to try and do stuff, because if they do, they get labeled weirdo or whatever the hell, and they suddenly find themselves in the middle of having a whole bunch of wealth, power, and privilege, and they're like, we can do anything.
Well, okay. And unfortunately, the anything turns out to be, treating women badly.
Yeah, exactly. Like, that's the whole thing. That's part of the whole Harvey Weinstein thing. Like, having that kind of power. Okay. I had a realization today, and you're all going to say, hell no. But hear me out. All of this can be blamed on Disney. Not the company, I mean Walt Disney.
Elaborate.
When you wish upon a star, makes no difference who you are. Anything your heart desires will come to you.
That's a bit of a stretch.
That's a huge stretch.
Look, I'm going to blame Disney.
Okay.
Disney himself was a raging anti-Semite at times. So,
well, that's true. That is true.
So I'm just going to blame Disney at this point, because you have a whole bunch of people who have been enclosed their whole life. They probably watched Pinocchio and all that kind of stuff, and were inspired.
Well, yeah, I don't know. That's like people saying, violent video games makes a more violent society, and that's not really what happens. So I think that's a big stretch.
So we also found out this week from Bobby Kotick's statement that Activision Blizzard has hired the law firm Wilmer Hale. And Wilmer Hale is a known union-busting firm because they're currently partnered with Amazon to break the Amazon union. And that tells you how much Bobby Kotick is committed to diversity and all the other flowery words he said in that same fucking paragraph about hiring the law firm.
Mm-hmm.
But this is actually starting to spill as much as the traditional press, like mainstream paper press, is covering this. All this stuff is actually starting to spill out over game companies to include gaming journalism as well. in particular, known asshole but sometimes good journalist Jason Schreier. For those of you who don't know, Jason Schreier was formerly of Kotaku, now at Bloomberg, and he is the guy who released the leaked Fallout 4 script. And then all of Kotaku was blackballed by Bethesda because it was the actual script for Fallout 4.
Wasn't he also the one that broke the story about developer crunch?
I think he was part of that. I think he was part of a series of that, but that's getting far too in the weeds for me to discuss, really.
We don't have that much time.
Right. Schreier released a coverage, Bloomberg coverage about the walkouts, and then basically got hammered on Twitter because Schreier is known for like covering the smallest like tweet of harassment or anything in an entire Kotaku article, and he didn't say shit about this stuff for years. And then his statement, his defense when this was asked of him was literally, and I quote, "Journalists staying silent if they don't have complete information is an ethical obligation, not a problem. I hope you understand that reporting has very different standards than a whisper network, as valuable as the latter is for people." Which sounds reasonable, right, Carlos? Ethical standards, you don't go to Russia's story if you don't have all the information. That makes sense, except for the fact that literally on Reddit, Kotaku in Action is creating a list right now, like has a list of all the times Schreier has made articles without having all the information, some of them based on just singular tweets. And Liana Kersner, who was a journalist covering Gamergate, but not anti-Gamergate herself. So she got blackballed by gaming journalism herself. She basically responded, "This is weasel wording for, I didn't think getting blackballed by Activision was worth it." She even goes on to say Jason Schreier is notorious for being a horrendous asshole who does good work. No woman could get away with being as big an asshole as Jason Schreier. It wouldn't matter how good a woman's work was. Schreier's entire career is based on discriminatory double standards. And it's true. Because Liana Kersner was one of those gaming journalists. She was blackballed by Activision Blizzard because when she went to go cover Destiny 2, she said she was literally the first to show up, and there was no demo ready for her at all. She was the first journalist to show up for the Destiny. No, not Destiny 2, the original Destiny. And when she showed up, there was no demo for her ready to go at all. And when she asked about it and she pressed the PR, they said, "You can just watch over somebody's shoulder." And she basically went, "No, I'm not covering a thing I don't get to have hands-on with. You promised hands-on." So she literally writes that article, right? Mm-hmm. "I didn't get hands-on with it. They made me watch over someone's." Well, she got blackballed by Activision Blizzard. And she's basically kept her mouth shut for 12 years at this point because she's worked around all this shit. She's even mentioned that in female game dev circles, Activision is the only company that women tell other women don't go to work for. So, I mean, take that what you will. That's anecdotal evidence, all kind of stuff. But yeah, no, I've just been keeping this list all week of shit coming out.
Mm-hmm. Well, thank you very much, son, for your diligence.
You're welcome.
That's quite a lot.
Yeah.
Oh, hopefully there's some good news in the near future, but well, we'll see.
Well, and here we thought the Scarlett Johansson stuff was the top of the iceberg this week.
We'll get to that. We're not there yet. We've got a couple trailers to talk about first. Bringing up the energy again. First up, Ghostbusters.
Yes.
Have you watched it?
Yep, I've seen it.
Carlos?
I have not seen it.
Son?
Oh, Carlos.
I really don't want to see it. Like, I don't want to watch the trailer because it's like I'm not going to see it in the theaters anyway. It's like okay.
Greg, tell us about the trailer in your own words.
Oh man, it gave me the feel. It gave me the feel from the first two Ghostbusters. I love that it's Egon's kids, and there's speculation on if Janine is actually like the grandmother since she's in the trailer, or if like she's married to someone else and she's just showing the house because she knew Egon. But since Rick Moranis isn't in it, I'm pretty sure that's the grandmother married to Egon, and her got married after Ghostbusters 2. Gozer's making a comeback. It's the Shandor Mines. If you look in the trailer, it's either the Keymaster or the Gatekeeper chasing down Paul Rudd out of Walmart.
One of the demon dogs.
Demon dogs. And of course, the Stay Puft Marshmallow Men are kind of a giveaway in the
We are
Whoa, no.
Justin, take control of your shit, man.
It was not me.
You know, sometimes those web pages auto load shit and it just starts running before you even. See, that's why so many people are so glad you can just right click those tabs and hit mute tab.
It's kind of hard to do if I don't know which one's doing it.
But I definitely got the nostalgic feel for this. I mean, the kids go back there. It's like, oh, left you this farmhouse. They find the Ecto one. He gets it up and running. I'm like, yes.
Goes for a joyride.
Yeah, exactly.
The only one with a working engine.
The only one with an engine, yeah. The very end of the trailer, they're, of course, hauling ass down the road, and they got that little mobile remote control trap ready to grab Slimer. And definitely a lot of callbacks. Obviously, in this trailer, we had Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, we got Slimer, we had Zool, and of course, at the very end, how I put out to Ross earlier, you see it says Occult Books, and if you didn't recognize the voice, it was Ray Stantz answering the phone saying, "We're closed." Same red phone, same bookstore, so it's going to be great to see the guys back in action. I guarantee the kids are going to have something. The guys are going to come in and help save the day. But it sounds like Gozer's making a comeback in this one.
Good. We can use some alpha level threats. The Ghostbusters 2 that always confused me. We had Ghostbusters 1. We had a freaking Sumerian god, an apocalypse level threat. And then the sequel comes out, and it's a would-be tyrants with a sewer full of goo.
The secret of the ooze.
So I can kind of explain this, but it's a George theory that that the Ghostbusters universe and the Power Rangers universe are kind of the same universe because the goo in 2 is Ivan's ooze.
Oh Christ!
That would mean it's just the movie because the movie is canonical only to itself.
No. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it would make sense, though, right?
It would not make sense at all.
It was purple, and it made people really, really evil for no apparent reason other than it was purple goo.
Hey, so that's Power Rangers for you. You can
the Minnesota
switch.
I mean, that's also Ghostbusters too. So
Minnesota Vikings are in there, purple people eaters. Old sports reference.
Justin, what do you think of the trailer? Okay, good to know.
I love it. I fucking love it. The feels we've seen Janine, and oh my god, it's gonna be awesome. Especially if they're all the guys are supposed to be back for this, except for of course, yeah. Oh, it's going to be a massive team up. I can see a massive team up. They're all going to be firing up against Gozer again. Oh, it's going to be great.
They're going to cross the streams.
I just gave it a watch, and I have to say that I loved it. I think that what they're doing here, which is really cool, is this isn't a sequel. I mean, in the sense that we have a whole new set of characters here, and it is actually their story set in the same universe. And even though we see a lot of the same characters, villains, etc., they've really made this into essentially a funny horror movie. And if the tone of the trailer is the tone that we see in the film, it's going to be fantastic.
See, it's funny you mentioned that, Carlos, because I was reading and there's a lot of backlash on the Twitter going around. The trailer got revealed and everyone's like, wait, I thought Ghostbusters was a comedy. I'm like, Ghostbusters has some very funny moments, but it is not technically classified as a comedy, because everyone's like, oh, it's so dark. I'm like, that's kind of the point. I'm like, we're 30 years later.
First one.
Look. For those of you who are old enough to remember, basically, Ghostbusters is the large march scene from Pee-wee's Big Adventure made into an entire fucking movie. That entire scene was hilarious and horrifying at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, which hilarious, right? But the reason it was so funny is because it was a really serious danger. We didn't know that that's what it was going to be until we saw it, huge and funny. And it was that mixture of horror and comedy that really gave the original such an amazing energy. And I see the same thing here.
And
right.
When
those demon dogs were freaky.
Oh yeah,
those weren't funny.
Especially when they changed when they were zapped by lightning and the two of them came down and took their dog form. That was freaky. There was a lot of scary stuff in those films. Just the eggs popping and frying in Dana's kitchen.
It's just everybody's like, oh, Ghostbusters is funny. Yeah, when you have comedic legends like Aykroyd and Bill Murray in this movie, I can see that. But they were playing in a very, I'm forgetting the word for it anyway, but sci-fi thing. It's like, yeah, it's funny, but they are tackling some serious crap here.
If people think
the first time Peter Venkman saw Slimer, that was kind of freaky.
Yeah.
Even though Slimer was pretty funny. But the thing about it is that people think that comedy has to be silly, and it doesn't. Right. And there were certainly silly aspects that we saw in Ghostbusters, but the actual story was terrifying, and that's what made it work. So if people think that the whole thing has to be silly to be funny, they're missing the point.
Right.
So F you, Twitter.
Back to the Future had a dark undertone. It was Marty McFly basically racing himself in resistance, and
people are like, "Oh, Back to the Future." Everybody's like, "Back to the Future" is comedy. Like, if you look at it, it's funny, but it's not.
Yeah, I mean, it's not funny overtones, but it's really scary thing of what could happen if
90-minute existential crisis.
Yes. But I wish my own existential crises could be limited to 90 minutes.
This Ghostbusters trailer did for me what when I haven't as far as sequels go for old school movies. When I saw the first trailer for Jurassic World, I lost my collective shit. I absolutely loved it. I saw the movie and I was a kid again watching Jurassic World.
I remember when that trailer came out.
This Ghostbusters trailer is doing that same thing. What Jurassic World did for me is what this Ghostbusters Afterlife is doing for me right now. It's giving me that same nostalgic feeling that I'm like, and it's like the same people. Spielberg did Jurassic Park, but now he produced Jurassic World. Ivan Reitman directed the first two Ghostbusters, but now he's producing this, and his son is directing this one. So it's like you have the same in-house people to make this work.
And that's the one thing that 2016 Ghostbusters was missing.
Yes.
Well, and the other thing is, look at this. I mean, and I don't bring this up just because one of the kids from Stranger Things is also in this movie, but but look at Stranger Things. I mean, it's terrifying, also hilarious. I mean,
exactly.
But you don't think of that as a comedy. And this Ghostbusters is probably a little bit more comedic than Stranger Things was, but it has the same sort of look and feel as even the cinematography is much more like what you see in Stranger Things than you see in your typical sort of comedy movie. It's beautifully shot. It is not just set in New York the way that Ghostbusters was. Mm-hmm. They get out of town a little bit. They diversify the settings. It all gives it this much bigger sense of scope than I think you saw.
That is something else This Ghostbusters is not in New York. It is somewhere else for the first
That's
time.
what Carlos just said.
Yeah,
That's what I just said.
Midwest United States.
I mean,
Yeah.
my God, it's somewhere
My
else.
neck of the woods.
I mean, Ghostbusters 3 did that too. I mean, it was still technically the same town, but I mean, come on, it's the Wild West
We don't
of
talk
Hill
about
Valley.
So,
All
yeah.
right,
But we
so-
don't see it until next year, right?
No, this year.
Oh, it is this year. Oh, good. I was
Thanksgiving.
September. Oh, Thanksgiving.
I'm stoked about it.
Thanksgiving.
Are you guys going to see it in theaters?
Oh,
Oh,
hell
yeah.
yes.
Oh, yeah. I mean, assuming they're open.
Well,
I hope.
yeah, assuming we still can do it. Yeah, if
I've
not,
been
then-
so burned by shit that I honestly don't have hype. I can talk about good aspects of stuff. I just don't have hype for shit anymore. I wish I had hype like you guys do. I don't.
Well, I don't think of it as hype. I just look at it as being excited about something.
Right.
Yeah, a
coming.
lot of that is a lot of it is also cynicism that I just don't get out to. Even before the pandemic, I didn't get out to movies like I wanted to in the first place, and that kind of cynicism just sets in, you know.
Well, you got to fight that because life's too short.
Yeah, well, hopefully, with all this Twitch streaming stuff, I might have the money to go to the movies every once in a while.
Outstanding. All right, let's wrap up our Ghostbusters talk and get to our next trailer, and that is we're getting a new Blade Runner TV series, an anime, in a team up collaboration between Adult Swim and Crunchyroll. Blade Runner Black Lotus. Have you guys watched this trailer? Hey, Justin's seen it.
I did not even know that this was a trailer, so nope, not seen it.
Okay. Greg, Carlos?
Yes, I saw it. And
Carlos, how about you tell us about it in your own words then?
Well, I mean, I think what I like about it is it sort of takes the best parts of Blade Runner and then goes off in its own direction, which I think is great. It reminds me a lot of whatchamacallit, the animated series, limited series that they did out of the Matrix, the Animatrix, and which in some ways, and I think I've said this before on the show, I feel like the Animatrix got what made the Matrix so cool and ran off with it and made it its own and made it better than what we saw in the subsequent sequels, official sequels. And I think that Blade Runner, I think I've mentioned before, I was not as big a fan of Blade Runner 2049. Was that the year?
Yeah.
I fell asleep in it, and it didn't do much for me. I just felt like it took a really long time to get to its point. This feels like it's getting to the point a lot faster and just exploring some new things. So I'm looking forward to it.
You fell asleep during Blade Runner 2040.
I did.
Who are you?
It looked great, but it just didn't have, I don't know, it just felt too ponderous.
Okay. Justin, what'd you think of the trailer?
Absolutely loved it. It looks like it's going to be a great addition to the storyverse. I cannot wait to see what they actually do with it. Because we've been burned by trailers before with stuff like this, but hopefully this looks really, really good. So
what we
I'm
see in the trailer, we've got a young woman wandering the city with no memory of who she is or how she got there. And this being Blade Runner, this gives us the question: is she a replicant? We don't know. She might be. She might be a person with amnesia. She might be being deceived. We don't know. That's the mystery. But she's incredibly capable. She takes down a whole group of attackers at once. She's seen wielding swords and other weapons. It's going to be interesting to see how this goes. And most interesting to me is that this is being produced by Adult Swim. Say what you will, they make good stuff.
Yeah.
Even their really
they've been really
weird and bizarre, extremely low budgets live action stuff that they made in the early 2000s was
Samurai Jack.
that was an animated show. That's not what I was talking about at all. I'm talking about fat guys stuck in internets.
Yeah. I just watched the trailer for it too.
The Wanderings of Xavier, Renegade Angel, that show.
Oh, that CG one. That was really weird.
Yeah.
American History Abridged.
Oh,
God. Why did you mention that?
So
why, Ross?
I just
Well, but the point. I'm sorry.
trailer.
Go ahead, son. Sorry about that.
So I just watched the trailer, and I can understand where you're getting the Animatrix vibes from, mostly because of the 3D art style is similar to that one sequence from the Animatrix, but also because there's literally like fucking Agent Smith type characters at one point in the trailer. It's like, oh, okay, that makes sense. But other than that, it really kind of feels like this mix of a whole bunch of anime all together all at once, like Aeon Flux and like the anime version of Judge Dredd and a whole bunch of other stuff just crammed together. And it kind of, in a way, it kind of makes sense in a Blade Runner universe, because you would have all of those kind of differential cyber dystopian things crammed into a universe that wasn't ever really truly explained all that well, so it could be anything.
I totally agree, and I think one of the reasons I didn't like Blade Runner 2049 very much was it still didn't explain very much, and I feel like we're going to scratch beneath the surface here, because they're going to go places. There's a 13 episode series. And that presents a lot of opportunities for exploration that I'm anxious to see happen. And a quick comment on just Adult Swim in general. I mean, Adult Swim is they don't bat 1,000, but everything they do is risky in a good way. They push the envelope. They try new things. They take old things and put them in new containers. And I like that attitude creatively, and I feel like here it's going to really pay off.
They're literally doing what Cartoon Network doesn't do anymore.
Right?
Like when I change to Cartoon Network and they're running the 15,000th marathon of Teen Titans Go, I'm like, yeah, please, no, let me just watch Adult Swim and bye. Maybe that's where all the Cartoon Network budget's been going. William Street.
Maybe.
I like the trailer for Black Lotus. The animation style is really good. I dig it, and I mean, I didn't fall asleep in 2049 like Carlos. I liked it. But
I feel like I'm the only one that actually understood what was being said in 2049.
Well, Carlos is old, so
no. I mean, I don't know.
I stay awake for things that are good.
So I don't know. It'll be interesting. I doubt it. I seriously doubt it. But we'll see if they get Deckard to make a cameo in this one. Maybe not Harrison Ford, but maybe Deckard.
Well, it's animated, so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, Harrison Ford's done making his 20th century healing process and whatever, but the project he's working on, he can probably do a voiceover for it.
No, the best thing you could do, the best thing you could do in this series would be to see the commissioning of Deckard.
I don't know.
Because, right.
Well, this is set in 2032, so
he's been in the Force a while already. Because in 2049, he's old and done.
Yeah.
Yeah, but see, that's the thing. The second movie doesn't just imply, it pretty much outright says he's a replicant.
Ooh.
But
some argue that the first one did that too.
Years.
Unless they age the replicant up to be an adult.
Anyway. That will wrap up that discussion. Let's move on to a couple quick shots to close out the night. Lucasfilm hires a deepfake artist to
The deepfake artist.
after he posted improvements on what they did in The Mandalorian to recreate young Luke Skywalker.
So yeah, no, they hired him after that. Apparently, he did the deep fake on Tarkin first, and that was like a year or so before this.
Yeah. And Leia.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize he did Leia too.
So he's been doing this a while, and he posted an update. You know, hey, I've not been creating stuff in a while because I got hired at Lucasfilm, and one of the news outlets covering it went to Lucasfilm to ask, and they're like, yeah, we hired that guy. So that's confirmed. All of that's confirmed.
All right,
hear from him again.
Hopefully next time we'll be just a little bit further on the far side of the uncanny valley. The release of Black Widow on Disney Plus has caused a few ripples in Hollywood. But apparently it is a breach of contract with Scarlett Johansson. And as a result, she and her lawyers have sued Disney for breach of contract. Disney's hit back, saying, with a pandemic, as well as a few other things. And their lawyers responded, yeah, my legally binding contract, which you are in violation of. Specifically
for her.
In regards to its dual release and the lack of money that is bringing in.
Good for her.
When I posted the story, I'm kind of on her side. I'm usually not like on the side of people like, oh, you've been paid $20 million, you don't need any more. But it's the contract thing of like, I'm on her side because she's not in the wrong here. The article Justin posted a little bit ago, I just read it and looked back at it. If the movie had been strictly theater released, she would have made north of, I think with what she has now, north of $60 million already. She's only been paid 20. Because right now Disney's reporting that they made $60 million off the rentals alone, and it's made about 320 worldwide. I'm like, yeah, I'm signing with ScarJo on this one. And what wasn't posted in the article is Emma Stone is now looking into legal counsel to file suit against Disney for Cruella.
It's not just Emma Stone. There's a third one as well. But I side with Scarlett Johansson on this solely for the fact that all of this is Disney's fault to begin with. Disney decided that they were going to delay her movie. Like how many times?
A couple times. Yeah.
And then now they're releasing it in the middle of a pandemic with a dual, with duels, and they didn't renegotiate the contract, knowing they were going to.
Yeah, which other studios did with their stars who had similar clauses, and Disney, in its arrogance, really, I think, chose not to do that with her, and I think it's going to bite him in the butt.
Honestly, and Disney, and I'm on Disney's side only for the reason when they postponed everything. I'm like, okay, I understand why they're moving it. I get that. That's fine. They should have, like Carlos just said, renegotiated the deal. Like, hey, Scarlett, we're going to rework your deal to where you get another percentage of the rental sales to help compensate the losses you might incur. She's the type of person who would have gone for that. If they had offered, hey, let's restructure your deal because of this, she's that type of person that said, okay, I understand. But because they didn't do that,
exactly what every other scene ever did.
And because now they're stabbing her in the back, it's like, yeah, now Emma Stone, I know Sunset, the third person, I don't know if I'm right, it might be Mulan, the actress who played her, because she also got the same stiff treatment. She might join, who knows?
Well, notice what Disney ended up doing almost immediately. Everything that was slated to release on Disney Plus and theaters is now theaters only.
So I mean, Shang-Chi, Spider-Man, they all will now get the full theater treatment. And that's just, like Carlos says, biting him in the butt now, because now Scarlett Johansson has even more ground to stand on.
Right.
Because, like, had they kept the hybrid release, okay, it would have been But now that they said full theatrical, this is like, okay, you just lost these lawsuits now.
There was an article I was reading, and John Feige is the one who directed this movie, right?
No.
Kevin's the producer.
Kevin Feige produced.
Okay. So there was an article about Kevin essentially being pissed off at Disney because he had been basically arguing with Disney that you need to change these terms for Scarlet because this shit isn't right. And he's basically been fuming the whole fucking time.
He's speaking out. He's speaking out. People have heard him and are quoting him in the industry trades right now. So he's clearly on her side. And I think the pandemic is a legitimate argument for a lot of things because it really has upended a lot in this industry.
Absolutely.
But the problem is that
Disney's wielding it in a way that is not proper.
Yeah,
a lot of these companies are doing that. A lot of companies are doing that. They're using COVID as an excuse for poor customer service. And I mean, it's like with YouTube. Try to do anything with them. And they're like, well, due to COVID-19, the response time, I was like, don't you all work at home from computers? I mean,
I don't think you can generalize this.
Another thing the pandemic is doing is this started, of course, 6-7 months ago. Christopher Nolan is close to leaving Warner Brothers and going to Netflix because of Warner Brothers doing their 45-day window and same-day HBO Max. He's pissed off about that, and he's looking to leave Warner Brothers. Netflix is foaming right now, trying to sign some sort of deal to get him to leave Warner Brothers. Like that. Granted, Scarlett Johansson's done with Marvel, technically done with Marvel now, but it's like you'll have other studios now who'll be like, hey, we'll give you a better deal than Disney, and then these actors are just going to say, okay, screw leave. We might not get him no longer, maybe not get like a Mulan 2 live action now. Scarlett Johansson's definitely done Black Widow. So Disney is setting a dangerous precedent that now these actors are like, okay, you know what? I'm done with you, and then move on.
Well, people are finally standing up to Disney. Disney has been a problem for a while with people because if you get blackballed by Disney, you're pretty much screwed. But now people are finally standing up to say no more. And because we're Scarlett Johansson, it's about time someone made a public show of it.
It's Disney's arrogance just finally catching up with it. And then having the lawyers to back up their own arrogance.
And having Kevin Feige on her side, what's Disney going to do? They fire Kevin Feige, there will be an absolute...
Well, they're not going to fire him, and he's not going to walk either. So arguably, you could say it's not going to necessarily make a big difference, except in the court of public opinion.
Carlos, hold on. I'm just saying, with Kevin Feige in her corner, that's going to help now other studios. It's like, okay, yeah, Disney may own Marvel, but now Kevin Feige has almost as much say as Iger did. It's like, he's president of the most profitable movie franchise in the world. So it's like, yeah.
It'll be like a James Gunn stepped up and be like, hey, look, wait a minute.
Well, let's move from a studio that's not doing too well to one that seems to be handling the pandemic quite well with Warner Brothers and the upcoming release of The Suicide Squad.
Yes.
The reviews are out. They're largely positive. What do you guys think? Have you read any of these yet?
I've been reading them. I've read a few. I've watched the trailers. They've been releasing a little 30-second, behind the scenes stuff. I mean, it's James Gunn. Like, it's like from Slither to Guardians of the Galaxy to the Suicide Squad. It's like, I'm all for it. It looks great. I'm gonna watch it. It comes out on my birthday, so we'll see what happens. I mean, but I'm definitely looking forward to it.
Yo, Max.
I'm definitely looking forward to it and looking forward to reviewing it on the show. That's going to be awesome.
That's going to be a fun one.
Carlos?
Yeah, he's definitely taking some chances here creatively. It's definitely, it's James Gunn, so it's going to be better than the first one. Apparently, some of the reviewers are saying this is a pretty dark film in a lot of ways, but but I don't have a problem with that. I like dark if you pull it off well, and I think he can. So I'm excited to see it. Which is pretty amazing given the fact that I was not a big fan of the first Suicide Squad.
That first one wasn't that great.
Release the Ayers cut.
That first one was not as great, but Harley Quinn is all about the dark / comedy, like we were talking about earlier. Dark comedy. Go again with Harley Quinn, but he takes it up to another level. So this ought to be. I hope it can be pulled off better than the first one did. And I'm glad this is not really a threat to people, even though it is.
Well, I mean, frankly, the premise of Suicide Squad offers a lot of really interesting possibilities for exploring these characters because they're not good guys. And that by itself separates it from so many other almost all other superhero movies. And so the fact that they're still sort of, they're super, who are sometimes heroes, or trying to do good sort of in the long run, but they, themselves are not, I mean, they're villains, most of them. That's a really great set of sort of moral opposites that I think offers a lot dramatically that I hope we're going to see in this film.
I'm looking forward to that. One of my favorite actors recently is Joel Kinnaman. I mean, a lot of people kind of bash him. I mean, he plays Rick Flag really well. I've not. Okay, not that they bash him. More or less his movies, because like he hasn't been like his remake of RoboCop got burned pretty bad.
Well, that's true, but that wasn't his. That wasn't his fault.
Suicide Squad, the first one, got burned pretty bad.
You're talking about the actor, right?
I'm sorry.
You're talking about the actor, right?
Yeah, but the movies he's been in, the kind of got it burned.
Yeah, but he's also done. I mean, he's done some great work. He's generally
I loved him in House of Cards. Honestly, I'm on the field. I loved him in RoboCop. I love the movie. I love the remake. But I'm definitely looking forward to his take. He plays a perfect smart ass, I'll shoot you kind of guy. So it's like he did do what he played the character well in Ayers, Suicide Squad. He's then play the character even better with James Gunn, because he's got like James Gunn's sitting there like just go, let me film, do your thing, that kind of directorial thing. So I'm looking forward to that.
All right.
Sweet. All right, and that brings us to the end of our topics. Let's move into our favorite section. What are we watching? Let's lead in with Greg this week. What have you been watching this week?
I finally, surprisingly, I've decided to sit back since I've been squatting here. I've rewatched all of Walking Dead. I'm now caught up, ready for the final season. I will say the season, I don't know if it's season 8 or 9, but the 15th episode of either season 8 or 9 left me shook worse than my favorite character's death in Glenn. Like, I honestly have not been shook by that kind of show in a long time. But looking for season 11, and I finally finished. Hopefully, everybody will get the chance to watch it for next week. Transformers: War for Cybertron Kingdom dropped, so the trilogy, all of it, is now out on Netflix. It is the story we deserved in live action, but we got in anime. So I highly suggest go watch it. Amazingly done. The animation's great. The voice acting. The third part it got continually better. So I loved Kingdom. So it's worth it. Of course, I watched Masters of the Universe. I absolutely loved it.
Also reviewing next week.
Yes, also reviewing next week. And then, of course, my favorite bit of news is Lucifer next. Well, I can't say next month. September 10th, Lucifer final season 6 drops September 10th.
Oh, it does?
Yes, the final season September 10th, Lucifer.
We're also caught up yet.
No. We're probably not going to get into it until we're done with Manifest. But as I've stated, I have no time.
No, you do. Just replace Manifest with Lucifer. There you go.
There you go.
Well, thank you, Greg. Justin, what were you watching this week?
Well, for some reason, unbeknownst to me, other than playing Star Citizen and streaming on Twitch pretty much every day for the last week and a half, I watched Iron Fist. I don't know why. I blame Greg. He said, "Why are you watching?" I was like, for science." And
for science.
I hadn't seen it yet. It was 2 seasons of a Marvel show that I would have been happier not to watch, because it was the biggest pile of shit I have ever witnessed. It was just bad. It was bad. It was one of Marvel's fails before they got better. It was a stepping stone. They learned their lesson with this one. So I guess there's a good reason that this exists. Maybe. But other than that, no Superman and Lois this week. They come back next week? Carlos?
Yes, they come back next week.
Yeah,
I didn't realize they'd taken this week off, and I was so excited about. But yeah, it's their season finale coming up.
Yeah, which is
Blame the
sad
TVA.
because. Oh, come on. No.
All right. Thank you, Justin. Carlos, what have you been watching this week?
So mostly I was catching up on a series that I needed to catch up on, not including Bad Batch. Sorry. So some Netflix stuff that I've already talked about. But here's what. Yeah. Well, I haven't done that one either.
Yes.
Oh my God! You need to watch that. It is so good.
But what I did rewatch, which was interesting, because I haven't seen it since it came out in 2016, was Star Trek Beyond.
Oh, okay.
And there's so much about it I had forgotten. It was a good movie but then I also remembered what I hated about it, which was the fact that like in every single JJ verse movie, the Enterprise gets destroyed, and leaving me with no starship to love.
Like, Abrams really hates Star Trek, doesn't he?
Well, he at least hates the Enterprise.
He keeps blowing up the flagship.
To be fair,
because the ship is just a vehicle. He never saw it as a character,
whereas the rest of us did. So yeah. So that's
if I may Carlos real quick, Justin Lin directed this, so I'm just saying.
No, Justin Lin directed Beyond.
Yeah, that's what Carlos is talking about.
That's what I'm talking about.
A key difference between the way the Enterprise got wrecked in Beyond compared to Into Darkness and 2009. It just got wrecked in the first two movies. In Beyond, it fought like hell.
Yeah. Well,
okay.
It fought like hell to the last, and it got a kill in the end.
That's true. Enterprise got the last laugh.
Officer flipped over and flattened the girl alien.
Anyway, so it was a fun rewatch because it's been 5 years, and and it just reminded me how much I actually like those characters, and I like the universe in general. Even though I had some things I didn't like, it was a fun rewatch. So I'm glad I love the look of it. I love the technology. There was a lot.
And now the Protostar is giving you even more Franklin vibes.
Yes, it does. It does. I'm so excited, really, to see Prodigy and Lower Decks. Frankly, tweaks. I know we're so close, and I really love the creative directions and the things that they're not just remaking the original series, which is apparently what a lot of those old fogies want. They actually want to make like creative original stories, and I'm all for it.
Time out, Carlos. You're an old fogey, and number two, we're getting our old remake in Strange New Worlds.
First of all, being an old fogey, just because you're old doesn't mean you're a fogey. Number one, and number two, you don't know what Strange New Worlds is going to be like. So stop jumping to conclusions.
Anson Mount saying it's going to bring back the feel and the episodic, right there.
Yeah. Okay. Fine. Anson Mount says that. And some of that, that's what a lot of people were, saying similar things about Picard, and they hate that too. So
look, to be fair, I haven't been lied to by Anson Mount like I have been Kevin Smith. So
sure enough. No, I like Anson Mount. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I think the energy that he's bringing to Pike was amazing on Discovery. I expect it will be amazing on the Strange New Worlds. I think, yes, we are going to see episodic stories, but you're still going to see them be part of a bigger story or a bigger set of themes.
The way DS9 did. DS9 did episodic was serialized, so it can be done.
Well, look. The biggest thing
I would say you're talking about two different animals between DS9 and
I will walk back
I
will walk back the not having hype thing for one thing. If we do this whole Strange New Worlds thing leading up to and I don't mean like us seeing Kirk and all that kind of shit. I don't mean it that way. But if leading up to that point, I would really like to see Sulu become part of the crew, because dude was like the fucking botanist on the ship.
Yeah.
But
later, you know.
No, that was literally the first episode he was introduced.
He was not in the chair of the life sciences division.
Yeah, that was before, or that was after Pike.
Right, that's what I'm saying. It's like in that lead up to all this stuff, because this is after like the cage, isn't it?
Yeah, it's after the cage.
Yeah, this is
Discovery was after the cage.
Yeah, this is after the cage and before Kirk. So I'd like to see Sulu join the crew at this
point. It's not going to happen.
I would like to see a true anthology series come from Strange New Worlds. We follow Pike and his crew for a while, and then we slowly transition over to Kirk and his crew.
I don't even want that. See, as far as Strange New Worlds goes, like they can feasibly have 5 good seasons, not because more Trek is good Trek, but 5 good years of Strange New Worlds. Let's go with that. Don't give us the transition to Kirk. Just give us Pike's story with Spock and Una and them. Give us his story, because while TNG.
Oh my God, Greg, I agree with you.
While TNG transitioning into DS9 and DS9 and Voyager worked okay. But it's like, just give us Strange New Worlds alone. Discovery transition to Strange New Worlds. Okay, give us that. And then just when Pike, I don't know, however they want to end it, but don't end it with the Enterprise being destroyed. Don't kill. I mean, Pike is going to have to probably die. But
no, not necessarily.
Pike doesn't die on screen.
There you go. There it is. Kill Pike on screen.
He knows what his fate is. We know what his fate is.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean,
don't transition to Kirk. Like, we've had so much of the TOS crew. Don't get me wrong, Bill, Leonard, and all them great, but just let us start and end it with Anson Mount's crew.
I agree. I totally agree with you there.
All right.
You kind of can't kill Pike on screen, because literally dude dies as an admiral training kids in
he was an admiral. He was a fleet captain, and that
old rank. Yeah.
Post his leaving the Enterprise. So it was. So you're not going to see that in.
And Russ,
son, what are you watching this week?
I've fallen into another VTuber hole.
Oh no!
Oh no!
Oh boy!
This time it's a femboy VTuber. Oh no! So it's really cute.
Oh no!
Yes, there you go. That's what I was looking for. So it's a femboy VTuber. So it's all cute and girly while still being a dude, right? Which I'll admit I'm a sucker for, right? So I've been watching ADC VR, and he is a Brazilian VTuber who uses a VR chat model of a dragon lady to stream with, and it's been absolutely fascinating just watching, because look, no matter what you say about all the people who simp for all the lady VTubers and shit, those fanboy VTubers get just as many simps. Not gonna lie. they will throw money at anything effeminate. It's so weird. So that's what I've been watching. I've also been catching up on. I've basically been watching the 3rd season of Disenchantment, because I'd never watched it, so I'm catching up on that, and that's supposed to be.
That's already got 3 seasons.
Yeah, I think the 3rd season was supposed to be the last. So, yeah, I've been watching that.
No, there's another season coming.
Oh, is there?
Yeah.
Oh,
cool. Hey! Anything for more Bean and Bender and all that kind of stuff,
Oh yeah.
So yeah, that's been fascinating.
Carlos, can't hear you, Carlos.
Can't hear you.
One quick piece of Netflix news related to what are we watching from a few weeks ago that I was talking about. The series Sweet Tooth, based on the DC Comics, got a second season renewal, so I'm very excited about that. So if you haven't watched it, folks, watch it. Do it. It's a great series.
Go watch the beginnings of the furry fandom.
Yeah, really.
All right. Thank you, son. As for me, it's been mostly YouTube for me. Particularly, I've been watching a YouTuber by the name of Waddles. He primarily produces Minecraft videos, and he's got an ongoing series called The Minecraft Guide, where he started a brand new world with the release of the new update, and he's been going through and building up his settlements, tunneling through mines, setting things up. He does some really beautiful in-game builds that I've been trying to emulate here and there, and my building techniques in the game have improved significantly when I'm able to play, which isn't often. But yeah, he's got a good soothing voice that calms me down at the end of the day, which is pretty nice. And then of course there's Gray Still Plays, which is the exact opposite. He took a small army of axolotls and killed the final boss with the things with a couple mods. It was quite insane. It was so crazy that PC Gamer decided to write an article about that video. And yeah, that's it for me.
Yeah, so Microsoft has really been vamping up the, hey, we're going to fucking complete Minecraft thing.
Eventually.
Yeah, the game has changed quite a lot.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Our friend Steven runs a server. He's been having to do updates every couple of weeks as Microsoft releases something new for either the server end or for the game in general, because they've been constantly updating it. And he's like, they're doing this every week now.
It's almost like playing Ark.
Yeah.
Pretty much
the 1.17 update released last month. 1.18 is supposed to come out a little later this year. They've completely revamped so many parts of the game. The Nether is completely different. Caves are getting a massive update. They've already released a bunch of new blocks, new materials. They added copper to the game as a building block. And you guys' eyes are starting to glaze over, so we'll move on.
Space Engineers released a new DLC this week and added a bunch of new blocks. I mean, I'm a sucker for building games because, let your inner creative come out and do whatever the hell you want and then blow it up or smash it into the ground or smash it into something else. That's what you do with this stuff. You blow it up and tear it down. Yeah, yay.
If we're talking about games,
Justin, you sounded like Farmer Fran from Waterboy right there.
So if we're talking about games, TennoCon recently just happened for those who play Warframe, and somebody lit a fire under Digital Extreme's ass because it looks like they're actually committed to getting their story expansion out this year as opposed to 2 years ago when it was supposed to come out.
Yeah. Probably the investors.
We have another show to look forward to, hopefully in the coming months.
What's that?
Lost in Space final season is releasing later this year.
When I started doing content creation, I had a short series with Mark Cushman, author and former, he worked on TNG as well. He had released a book called Erwin Allen's Lost in Space, and he and I had planned to go through the entire original series and talk about it as a perspective for someone who hasn't seen it before and him who's gone in-depth research. Unfortunately, we got 2 episodes in, and then my son was born, and I had no more time.
So yeah, something to look forward to is the final season Lost in Space.
Is that October when it comes out? When does it come out?
They haven't. Netflix hasn't officially confirmed it. All they have said is that confirm it will release this year.
Yeah, and it's the final season.
Yes.
Hey, what's the next Expanse coming out? Isn't that right around the same time?
Oh, I don't think so. I think we have to wait a little longer for Expanse.
They're doing The Boys season 3. Who knows?
Oh, you guys know there was a third What If trailer that came out this week too.
Yes, little 30-second. Oh, Ross. A little 30-second teaser.
Yeah, it was so good. I'll post it in the chat again so you can watch it.
No,
next
it's
time.
2 minutes and 49 seconds.
What? I didn't see that.
You missed it too.
It came
Oh
out
my
yesterday. Marvel's What If trailer number
God.
3.
I posted it in the chat.
2:49. 2 minutes 49 seconds.
Maybe I did watch it. And was anybody else excited for Jeffrey Wright as the Watcher? I'm just throwing it. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm excited for-
Yeah.
oh shit! There it is.
Gosh.
Yeah. Well, a new
All right.
trailer.
Well,
Ross is the only one that has an excuse here, Greg.
I'm
that
gonna
will.
watch it.
Thank you guys so much for sharing. That will wrap up this episode of The Real Super Geeks. Thank you all so much for watching. If you have lasted this long, please like the video, upvote, rate, whatever it is on your platform that encourages the engagements and gets the algorithm chugging, get it shared around. Also, if there is a comment section, please contribute to the conversation. Let us know what you think about all the stuff that we've talked about tonight. We want to hear what you say. We've got our Facebook page. We've got. Do we have a Twitter? I don't have access to it.
TR Super Geeks.
We need an active Twitter. Anyway, occasionally we'll drop a thread for topic suggestions. So keep an eye out for that. And of course, it's a good way to interact with us offline. Justin, where can people find you? I
am at twitch.tv /Commander Sepper, CMDR SEPR, and I'm almost at affiliate status. So come on over and watch me play Star Citizen.
Yay! Let's go. Get that man affiliated. Greg.
You can find me at youtube.com, Mongoose Gaming Burrow.
Carlos.
Axmonitor.com and the Axmonitor Facebook discussion group.
Sunsail.
You can find me at the little right below twitch.tv/sunsail. And no, that's not a capital I at the end. That's an L, everybody. I see so many people who seem to get that confused.
Oh, and I will be at Star Trek Las Vegas, assuming they don't cancel it, as COVID cases surge in Nevada. But that will be August.
From it.
Yeah, that'll be August 11th through the 15th.
Are you
Carlos?
Well, are you going to be at a booth, or are you going to be solo?
No, I will be associated with a booth, and then also covering the fan film track on Axmonitor.
All right. Could we possibly expect a live report from the? Well, no, it'll be.
It probably won't be live, but it will be on tape.
Are we going to see? Are we going to have a random encounter with somebody named Sean?
Probably not so random, but definitely an encounter.
So,
all right. If you're watching us on Twitter or on Twitch, you're already in the right place. Twitch.tv/live_love_playing.
And we
thank you guys so much
for that point.
I want to make a point just before we go. So what Carlos is saying is that he will be recorded live in front of a studio audience.
Thank you, everyone.
Damn it, Justin.
Thank you, everyone, for watching once again. Son, if you would please.
Remember, sweeties, no matter who you are or where you are loved and appreciated by just your being you.
Justin.
Fuck this shit, I'm out.
Play us out.
Fuck this shit, I'm out.
There we go. Oh, Justin, you're out of control.
I love it.
That concludes our regular episode. If you still have a little energy left in you, stay tuned. It is time for Florida Man, the weirdest and wildest news from Florida and beyond.
And no, Greg's not in it this week because he's squatting in someone else's house.
That's like, oh shit, they're home.
FBI, open up.
I will catch you guys next week, and I will be back in my office.
All right,
guys.
Okay, cool. Get back to where you belong.
All right. Welcome to Florida Man. Today we have a really fun topic to lead us off with. I believe this one was dropped in the chat by Justin.
Okay.
Yes.
All right,
I
let
know
me
it's
warm
rare.
up the 50s man voice. Florida man washes ashore after trying to walk to New York in bubble device.
Oh, good God.
On the water.
This is from Yahoo News, from Adam Gambit. Posted Monday, July 26, 2021. A Florida man startled beachgoers when he washed ashore inside a hybrid bubble running wheel device. The man, identified by a local news channel as Reza Baluchi, washed ashore in Flagler County on the east coast of Florida on Saturday. He was inside a large barrel-type device, which appeared to have flotation buoys attached to each end. The Flagler County Sheriff's Office posted photos of the strange vessel on Facebook. The occupant advised he left the St. Augustine area yesterday to head to New York, the Sheriff's Office said, but came across some complications that brought him back to shore.
Like
the U.S. Coast Guard was contacted and arrived on scene to take over the case and ensure the vessel's occupants are U.S. Coast Guard compliant for their safety moving forward.
My guess is he won't be compliant.
In the bubble.
Fox 35 Orlando reported that Baluchi's aim was to run to the northern U.S. or Bermuda. Baluchi instead ended up 30 miles south of St. Augustine. My goal was not only to raise money for homeless people, raise money for the Coast Guard, raise money for the police department, raise money for the fire department, he told the TV channel. They're in public service. They do it for safety, and they help other people. He added, I will show people anything you want to do it. Don't listen to anyone. Chase your dreams. The Sun Sentinel reported that Baluchi was forced to turn back after he discovered that some of his safety and navigation equipment had been stolen. The equipment had been removed, and Baluchi plans to resume his journey once weather improves, the newspaper said. A video on Baluchi's YouTube channel posted in September of 2020 outlined a plan to travel to Bermuda in the bubble vessel. It was unclear if that voyage took place. According to Baluchi's website, he was prepared for a similar voyage in April 2016. At that time, according to his website, Baluchi planned to set off near Miami and travel north along the coast before veering east towards the Bermuda Triangle. On the way back, he planned to stop at Puerto Rico, Haiti, Cuba, and Key West. Baluchi planned to survive on protein bars, tuna, and seawater purified through a filter, Gatorade, and chewing gum for seasickness, his website said.
This is weird.
Where does he poo in that thing?
Yeah, that's what
He hangs his ass out the side.
Ew.
I was just
so his ashes in one.
So I was gonna say, I guess you could say that his hamster wheel just stopped spinning.
Yeah. I wonder how he tries to keep it stationary when he needs to sleep.
Yeah, I don't know.
Does it matter, really?
It's a bubble, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it just floats.
The ocean is constantly moving. It doesn't seem to sit still. The wind and the current is going to drag him out wherever he goes if he's not exerting some kind of force.
Yeah, exactly. That's, I think, part of the
How
reason
would
why
one
it's
sleep on
an
that
ill-advised plan.
How would one sleep on that thing?
Very, very soundly. Unless the water is really rough, and then he's not. He's going to drown.
Can you imagine trying to traverse a storm in one? No. I mean,
yes.
No.
Yes.
All kinds of wrong.
Okay, you were inside a metal tube.
No, it's not metal.
That's a plastic.
Yes, metal tubes, but also ships on the surface.
Okay, well, yes, but you weren't in a plastic bubble. You had,
and let's not forget, it's hurricane season.
It is a metal tube filled with plastic balloons.
Yes.
So it's even worse than ill-advised.
Yes. Oh
my God. I mean, I'll be honest. That's kind of I mean,
that's like an Alex Hughes level of scam right there.
I mean,
I thought my article was peak Florida Man, but Florida Man decides to put balloons in a fucking metal tube for charity. That's peak Florida Man.
You're welcome.
I mean, this guy said that he set out. He when he washed up, he had set. Let's see, he had left St. Augustine the day before, and was instead of moving up the coast, he was stuck 30 miles away to sea of St. Augustine before he finally washed ashore.
Yeah, apparently this is the 4th time he's had to be rescued for this.
You'd think you would have taken the hit.
What I want to know is,
look. This is the one good thing you could say about this. At least he's not trying to chuck himself into space like a flat earther. At
he
least
wasn't
he's
a
being
flat
rescued.
earther. He wasn't actually a flat earther. He was just using them to fundraise.
That's what I'm saying. At least he's like not chucking himself into space in a homemade rocket like flat earthers.
Oh,
he's
yeah,
not,
like that one way.
He's only marginally possibly dying, not pretty much guaranteeing himself great bodily injury.
He died doing what he loved.
Penis-shaped rocket like that Bezos.
All rockets are penis-shaped.
Okay,
this one was really penis-shaped.
It was.
It
was just missing the ball.
Side note: NASA changed the definition of astronaut so that Bezos is no longer. It can't be called an astronaut.
Right.
Good.
He only went up 60 miles.
Well, he was also a passenger.
What about the one? What about the Virgin Galactic guys? Are they still considered?
Same.
Good.
Wait. Does this retroactively work as well? Does this also mean that teacher that went up is not considered an astronaut anymore?
Yeah,
either?
That's what I would say. Either if it
has
to be piloting, that doesn't make
sense.
No,
it's not that you have to be piloting; it's you have to be specifically trained.
Okay.
Okay. I mean, didn't the Virgin Galactic guy get trained?
I don't know.
But they were gonna get trained by NASA.
I don't know the specifics.
Look, there's a lot of questions to that. Just that.
I mean, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
You go on a cruise, you're not a sailor.
Well, yeah,
Okay.
sure.
But what if you paid to build the boat?
You're still not a sailor.
you're just a sucker.
I mean, yeah, in Treasure Island, the guy that financed the journey was not a sailor. He just paid for the boat and the salary of everyone on board.
I mean, he sounds like a sucker to me.
Well, kind of. He was a bit of a fool.
I mean, the one
he did hire a bunch of pirates to crew the ship after.
Excuse you, mercenaries for hire.
Hey, I am a mercenary in Star Citizen. Mercenaries are cool. We are not pirates.
Privateers.
So,
Exactly.
Privateers are sanctioned by a specific government in service of that
We
government.
are sanctioned by the UE. Thank you.
But that can't be proven. You can't prove that.
It's on the charter. Yes, you can.
Because that's how the whole letter of marque thing happened.
Well, we've got some other Florida Man stories. I've got one I'm excited to talk about.
Take them away.
Okay, here's one. Florida man, 76, this just happened today, jailed for performing botched castration on it gets better. Botched castration on a man he met on a eunuch fetish website. There you go. I'm happy to share.
I mean, yeah, it takes all kinds, but what?
Yeah.
No, you don't. Okay, so this is why I'm laughing like this.
Shut the fuck up, Justin.
So you remember how I said I'm a provert? Yeah, that includes stuff like this as well. This is this is not even an uncommon occurrence. This is so fucking common in the Unix spaces. It's unreal. The fact that this got attention in the first place was solely because Florida Man.
Florida Man.
Well, no, it would be that, and then it would have to be. Oh no! Snip.
So, here's my Florida Man story, the one that I thought was peak Florida Man. Florida Man sought by police for stealing WWE title belts and Sheamus's necklace. I don't know who Sheamus is.
I don't know who Sheamus is.
He's an MMA fighter, I believe.
But, like, WWE title belts? Holy shit. That's
bold.
That's some redneck shit right there.
That's bold. I wouldn't want to piss one of those guys off, even if wrestling is fake.
Unchoreographed.
Fake.
The hits, the floor, the impacts, they're almost all real, man.
So what's funny is the grainy security footage. One of the shots of the grainy security footage of the guy, I shit you not, almost looks like Dean Cain, just like young Dean Cain. from Lois and Clark days, Dean Cain.
Yeah.
It's nuts. Yes, that joke was intended from the previous one.
All right, you guys go ahead and read. I'm just going to react.
Okay. Let's see. There's all the stories of the dude in the paddle wheel boat thing. Okay, well, there's one. Quick headline. Florida man shows gun off at bar, accidentally shoots himself.
Of course.
Sorry, good to see you here.
Okay, so this is about a Louisiana man, but it happened in Florida. He hid in a Florida teen's bedroom closet and had sex with them, apparently. But here's the Florida man part of this. He apparently was there for like weeks, like hiding in the closet and then coming out and having sex with the kid who was 15 at the time.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh, that's a dark one.
Yeah, he hid in the closet until the victim's parents went to work, and then had sex with the victim in his van.
This sounds like an R. Kelly song.
Kind of does. It kind of does. Yeah, he claimed he was there for 5 weeks.
Nope. We show people like that the bullet.
No, we show people like that the burning pit of fucking fire.
We show people like that to the eunuch fetishists and let them have their way with them.
So, yeah. I know, right? See, I was just trying to be advertiser friendly, but like what I would really do to a guy like that, I can't say anywhere because like there are Geneva Convention shits against what I do.
Do I need to get the people ready, son?
Like Dick Cheney talking about going to dark places doesn't even cover what I do to somebody like that. Because that, oh no, you don't do that shit.
I would go to jail harming somebody like that because if something like that happened to one of my kids, no, I would gladly go to jail harming somebody. Nobody like that is never.
I do bad things. My wife would do worse.
I wouldn't be scared of your wife. Your wife looks like she could hold her own if she got mad enough. So, I wouldn't want to make her angry. Yeah.
So here's a lighter bit of Florida.
All right.
It's
let's hear it.
Florida woman Florida woman arrested for masturbating outside chicken shop twice in 1 week.
Wow.
She must really like chickens. Justin.
Justin.
I'm glad you
ambience and beyond.
Look, I'm glad you didn't use that for the last one because holy shit,
No.
I would literally come to your state and slap you.
That would have been so wrong.
The last one don't get the last story is more of a what we will no. That wasn't got named.
Oh my god. Florida man steals smokes and scratch off tickets, then cashes in the winners.
Well, of course.
Instantly arrested because they're all stolen.
Yeah, of course. Here's one. A 19-year-old woman was arrested in Florida after setting fire to a car she mistakenly believed belonged to her ex-boyfriend.
Oh my god.
It was a Honda Accord. Oops.
No real loss, well, except for the person who owned the car.
Man, Honda Accords are like the fucking tanks of cars. I had an '88 Honda Accord, and this thing is bungee corded and duct taped together, and it fucking survived for years as a pizza delivery car.
Meanwhile, my Buick just died.
Oh.
Yeah, it's got rust damage on the frame, which lets the rear driver's side tire looks like that. Yeah, there's rust spots all over the damn thing, and the alternator died.
Ooh,
oh no,
that hurts. Alternators are no fun.
So now
Yeah, and I've got no driveway, so we've got to figure out how to move it each day before I can get rid of it.
Yipes!
Oh,
so I don't get a ticket.
Well, are you just going to junk it, or are you trying to scrap it?
Whatever gets rid of it faster.
Most places have these that they'll buy cars in any condition and they'll come and pick it up. So just look on Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist. You should be able to find something. Make sure make sure they pay you before they load that car up.
This is simultaneously a Florida story and a Southern story.
Ooh, this should be good.
This will be really good.
Florida woman claims she has to poop when pulled over. Comes back with crack pipe visible in bra.
Because that's what you expect to see in a bra, right?
Wow. Fail music, Justin. Fail music.
I don't have it anymore.
Oh no!
I had to get a new one. The one that I had got corrupted, so I need to replace.
Well, then that's an appropriate moment for a Florida man.
Indeed. Here's a Florida man story. Florida man arrested after hopping into a random van and taking a snooze.
That's trespassing.
Really.
Oh wait! Nope, that's not a good one. That's not a good
must
one.
have really needed a nap.
He did go through their glove box, though.
Oh, okay.
So mostly it was the nap.
I'm just gonna waltz on in here, raid the car a bit. Ooh, that back seat looks comfy.
Ooh,
I can take a few minutes.
It's time to take a nap. Yeah. Nobody will find me. It's okay.
Oh my god!
I would like to point out, by the way, that U.S. swimming Olympian and gold medal winner Caleb Dressel is a Florida man and proud of it. He says he comes from a wild and crazy state.
Yeah, that ain't no damn lie. Second only to Kentucky.
Oh, I don't know if you guys covered this one last week, so tell me if you did.
Okay.
Florida man known as Tarzan, wanted in connection with stolen truck with Roadrunner and Jesus decals.
Nope, we didn't cover that. But that is totally a Southern thing, more than a Florida man thing.
Yes, that's totally something that would happen in the South. I mean, anywhere in the South, not just Florida, anywhere in the South.
So here's a corruption story. Florida man cop sends undercover unit into strip club to spend over $400 on lap dances, drinks, and packs of cigarettes.
Okay, do you remember the Florida man story from what I think it was about a year ago, with the kid who pretended he was a doctor?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Which one? There's a few.
The young kid.
The young
Malachi
kid.
Robinson.
Yeah. So now in Osceola County, a man was accused of running a dentistry practice without a license. So they're branching out.
There was another guy in Florida who kept pretending to be a cop from a teenager into his 40s. He kept getting caught, too.
A Florida man decided that it would be fun to bully a live jaguar in the Jacksonville Zoo, and did not emerge a whole person from that experience.
I like the other Florida headline that I'm reading about that exact thing. It says Florida man who stuck his hand in jaguar's exhibit at Jack's Zoo hospitalized. Obviously.
Okay. All I got to say to that Florida man is,
you are made of stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Whew.
is that it?
Oh, okay. This one's animal cruelty, and I wholly support them being arrested. Florida man and woman arrested after transporting 13 dogs and 4 cats in the back of a U-Haul without any water.
What?
Oh, no. That would be a fight. That would be a fight. If I would catch someone doing that to animals, that would be a fight.
That's an arrest-worthy offense, right?
And then some.
Mm-hmm.
You don't harm kids. You don't harm it.
So here's a story about the anti-Florida man.
Oh.
So this is a guy who lives in Cape Coral and apparently does not like Florida and was venting vocally about how much he hates Florida and was arguing with the clerk in a gas station when he left the store, making vulgar statements about Florida and being extremely loud, and then took out a gun and, of course, was captured by police. So now he's facing felony charges.
Okay.
Felony Florida man.
Felony anti-Florida man.
No, that's definitely a Florida man.
Hold on.
He's an honorary Florida man.
Felony Florida man.
There you go.
The apparently the charge they charged him with was aggravated assault with a deadly weapon without intent to kill.
Okay.
What?
Okay.
He's basically making threatening gestures with
brandishing?
the gun. Yeah.
Yeah.
Making threatening gestures with the gun, but not wielding it to kill anyone.
Right, or verbally threatening anybody.
Right. So here's another one. Florida man, veteran detective, charged with misdemeanor theft for stealing spiny lobster from a boat he pulled over.
Wait.
Dude, literally.
Wait. What? A boat? He did what now?
So, okay, so obviously there's like Coast Guard and shit in Florida, right? So a veteran Coast Guard dude literally pulls over a boat for, checking fishing license and all that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. And apparently all these guys' licenses were in order, yet he steals one of their lobster.
That's
hungry Florida man.
Okay, here's one. Florida man spots clothes on lanai, then finds woman skinny dipping in his pool.
Okay.
Oh yeah, that's one from last week. Yeah.
The lanai.
Yeah, she was like wasn't she arrested for that?
Yes,
probably.
She was. Yes, she was.
Trespassing, indecent exposure.
Just swimming naked in somebody else's pool.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's a that's a thing.
Okay, here's a good one. South Florida man accused of posing as teen to entice girls. Said man is 45.
Oh. All right. Know what I like about high school girls? I get older, they stay the same. Yes, they do.
All right.
No, God, no.
Originally, I was going for the "What's up, fellow kids?" Oh, terrible! Just ugh. Yeah. Uh-oh.
Okay, so this one's funny just because it's an incomplete headline, but sounds so quintessentially Florida man.
Mm-hmm.
Florida man scheduled for court appearance.
Keep going.
That's it. That's the headline.
Repeat the headline again. I think I
Florida man scheduled for court appearance.
Is it Alec Peters?
Yeah, no, that's quintessential Florida man.
That's quintessential Florida man. It's like that happens a lot in Florida. I'm
One, two, one, two, one.
There you go. There's your squats, Dia.
Oh, Florida man. Quintessential Florida man. Hello?
Okay, so Florida man arrested pleasuring himself with a pickle.
Wait, did we have that before?
I
feel like we've had a pickle story recently.
Carlos, this probably happened.
Why? They're not firm enough.
For what? I hesitate to speculate.
I assume it was being used in insertion.
Not necessarily. I can imagine a number of ways you could use a pickle.
The article literally says it was being used for insertion. Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, then we have it.
Occam's razor.
Hence the term. You're in a pickle.
Carlos likes the pickle.
Shouldn't it be the pickles in you?
Yeah, probably.
If you were in the pickle, it'd be the other way.
Maybe it's a versatile pickle.
Maybe it's an ambidextrous pickle.
They don't yet have hands. They don't have hands.
Well, that's why I said ambidextrous.
Dexterous. Oh, I see. Oh, I see what you did there.
It's strictly planning. We're going to hell for this one. All right, next.
Well, that's all I got for Florida man stories this week, folks. Oh, wait, here's one. Florida man bitten by alligator after falling off his bicycle.
That's happened probably every week in Florida man too, but
I'll go ahead and give it a go, Florida man.
All right. Son, got any more?
Son?
Oh, sorry. I didn't realize I was still muted. My bad. I had to cough and forgot I was still muted. Florida man stealing candles from Bath and Body Works injures 30+ people with bear mace.
Oh, I saw that one. Why didn't I saw that one as I was going through stories. I don't know why I didn't.
Bear mace?
Bear mace. Like, why does that happen in a cosmetics store? I don't know.
What the? Why?
Basically,
why is he carrying around bear mace in a mall?
Well, it's Florida. You use the bear mace on the alligators.
Plus, they do have bears in Florida.
Yeah, that's true.
But in a mall?
Well, maybe they just carry it for, in general.
Again, I'd like to point out he was stealing shit from Bath and Body Works. He was literally using it as an escape cover.
Yeah.
You can't be chased down if everybody who's chasing you is screaming in agony.
Good point.
Because I don't know if any
I see what you're saying there.
I understand the logic. He's still a fucking idiot.
Because I don't know if any of you all have been on a business in the mace before, but it is quite unpleasant.
I have been on the business end of OC spray. It is not a fun time.
I have not, and I hope I never am.
No, it's the worst thing ever.
There's a reason bear mace is banned by most states. So yeah,
not here in the West, because we actually have bears.
Yeah, that's true.
We got them here too.
Well, unless somebody has more, I need to head out. So we have more.
I actually I wanted to give a shout out and well wishes to my Trek Radio family. We lost DJ Jack Attack this week.
Oh no!
Yeah. Apparently he passed away from the virus. So.
Oh no.
So. Yeah,
that's the one that Glenn was talking about in chat earlier.
I think so.
Yeah, because I know Glenn knew a bunch of the people from Trek Radio.
I only just saw it myself, and I was with a whole bunch of those people at Trek Radio for a long while.
Yeah.
I used to hang out and a long time ago. That sucks.
It's just such a shame that people who are refusing to get vaccinated and then getting sick and dying. It's like. And then changing their mind, of course, on their deathbeds. But then it's like it's too late, and the other people who are like them don't listen to them. It's a mess.
It's contradictory at this point too, because like in Massachusetts, like 2/3 of the people who are getting infected with the Delta variant are vaccinated people.
Well, infected and getting sick are two different things when it comes to the breakthrough cases. One of the things that the CDC said today in terms of why even vaccinated people need to mask is that the Delta variant apparently, even if you never get sick, you can still get infected and you can still shed the viral loads onto other people who are unvaccinated.
Right.
So you may never even know you're sick and infect a lot of other people, which is a big problem.
There was a report released, I think it was either today or yesterday, from the one of the UK research labs that is basically it basically boiled down to like kind of like fear mongering based on statistical data and all that kind of stuff. But it's basically like, yeah, no, we could see a superbug mutation of it, like an actual superbug mutation of it, where like getting vaccinated actually helps spread it.
Well, in the sense that, yes, I mean, in the sense that it's not your vaccination that causes the mutation. It's the fact that not enough people around you are vaccinated, and it gives the virus plenty of places in which to mutate. And then in that mutation then renders your vaccination less effective or not effective at all. And that's sort of this spiraling problem that all comes down to people refusing to get vaccinated.
Yeah. But I just wanted to share that, that we'd lost Jack, and because
that's a shame.
That hit pretty hard. I don't know where Jack stood on being vaccinated or whatnot, but please, for the love of God, talk to your doctor. Ask your doctor if it's something for you to get, and ask if your doctor will administer it if you're not comfortable with somebody else doing
it. Please be safe.
All right.
Everybody. We are
thank you, son. And thank you all for watching Florida Man, the wild news from Florida and beyond. Have a good night, and remember to live, to love, and to play a little bit every day.
And hi to your cat, Justin.
Yeah.
Play us out.
There we go. That poor cat.
before Ross has drops the ball on his head. And Rocket, come on now.